Show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. We are back, and for the first time since Media Day, Stiles and Watkins is back at full strength. Nate Littlefield behind the glass for us, and Chris Watkins has returned. The prodigal son has returned, and we have a lot to get to. I know Chris was missing being here yesterday. Chris, you missed the Mike Epps ticket giveaway, but don't worry. You will have a chance to give them away yourself today, and that will be at 11:30, Chris. So you have to keep each other accountable. Not 1 o'clock as usual. 11:30 for the Mike Epps ticket giveaway. How you doing? How you feeling?
Good, yeah, glad to be back, and we'll see how that giveaway goes. I feel like you and I usually will forget something like that, so let's put it on Nate. It's gonna be on Nate if we don't do that. So,
I agree, and that's how it should be. Yeah. Nate, thanks for your good work as always. We have more interviews for you as we make sure everyone gets the full media day experience. I mean, It does go very quickly, and a lot of people, if you were taking your kid to the doctor or dentist or whatever the case may be, we're trying to keep everybody as locked in as possible and up to date as possible with our exclusives that we got, nobody else got. You can see the media scrums anywhere, but we got to sit down with basically not just the players in the Kings rotation, but beyond that, we got to sit down with Monty McNair, who we played yesterday, Mike Brown, who we played yesterday, and today for you, we have Kevin Huerter, we have Devin Carter, and we have Keegan Murray. And the Keegan Murray one will be later in the day around 1 o'clock. And Keegan Murray, you definitely don't want to miss that. It was great stuff. We start things off with Kevin Huerter. That is at 11. You don't want to miss no headband Kevin Huerter. And basically, we were doing our interviews right next to Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross. So we could kind of hear at times if there was a lull with what we were doing. And just from the clips, Chris, that I heard from the Kevin Huerter interview is great stuff. I mean, at one point I hear them talking about if Kevin Huerter saying if he has kids, the kid's going to bat lefty. I mean, they were talking about everything from the headbands to Kevin Huerter's future kids. So you don't want to miss that. That is at 11. And you're also not going to want to miss the Devonte Adams landing spot. We have Q versus K. And no, we're not talking about fraternities. We have your boy Q, who said something on one of his radio hits, one of his radio shows, and your boy Q, friend of the show, huge friend of the show. And K Adams had a response. But surprisingly, a lot of people were writing for our guy Q versus K Adams, who tried to kind of make it sound like Q was insinuating something that he wasn't insinuating. So we have that coming up for you in about 10 minutes. And we also have Around the NBA, Thursday Night Football, and as we talked about during Crosstalk, ranking the starting lineups for the NBA. That's what Bleacher Report did. You're not going to like where the Kings are, but you are going to like where ESPN has and Nate and I kind of chatted about this on the surface yesterday. We didn't give details, but you are going to like where ESPN has the Kings win total. Ooh. So yes, a very good Friday Eve to get you through to Friday. We've almost made it to another one, but we begin with the Major League Baseball playoffs, and they are moving and grooving. Yeah. First and foremost, Chris, a lot of people are complaining that these times just don't make a lot of sense. Sure. And they're not doing – you complained the same way about the WNBA in a different way going up against the NFL, but Major League Baseball just isn't doing itself any favors. And number one, the seating. When you pan out to whether it's the Astros or whoever it is, the Astros are done now, but whoever it is, not all those ballparks were packed. Right. And that's due to people having to work, normal jobs. Yeah. That's what it is. So that's number one.
God forbid.
And number two, a lot of people, Chris, and I don't know how you felt about the one and done. This is worse than this is better than the one and done.
I agree.
Okay.
Agreed.
But a lot of people still think if you're looking at the Orioles or a team like that, who we talked about the Orioles or baseball outlets talked about the Orioles all season long to just have 2 bad games and your season's done. Right. A lot of people think, hey, sucks to suck, figure it out. The other side of it is baseball needs to think about this in a larger capacity. Now, is that a 5-game series? Maybe, but to play 162 games and the Orioles to be better than who was it? The Royals that they're facing, and then just be outed like that because, we talk about a 7-game series that really shows who who the better team is. What do you do with the 3-game series? I don't know what you do with a 5-game series, but first let's talk about the times, and then we can get into just the idea of the 3-game series and what it even shows us.
Yeah, I think the times is an interesting one because it's an interesting feeling, right? Like, I mean, to have baseball on at it starts at probably 1:30 or something.
I mean, the games are going on during our show.
Yeah,
during
absolutely.
our show.
Yeah, it feels a little bit early. I think it does give it an interesting vibe to it, like especially since it is. I think the problem with this entire first round is it feels like they're just trying to get it over with as quickly as possible. Let's get to it. Feels like, okay, now the real playoffs start with the Yankees and everybody, when you get the top seeds in it. I think the problem is it just kind of feels like it's its own separate thing, and it feels like, I don't know, it just doesn't really feel like they're trying to make it into a big deal. This first initial round of games. It's kind of cool. It kind of gives a little March Madness feel, like you said, you get the games during the day. I remember when the Giants were in the playoffs when I was in high school, like during school, during only one of our classes, you have to have a cool teacher, but they'll show the game on during the game. Like it gives it an interesting vibe. And, like you said, people are at work, kids are in school. Maybe you take them out of school for the day and it creates
the McDonald's.
Exactly. You come back with the McDonald's. It creates an interesting viewing experience, but I don't think it's best for TV. It's not best to grow the ratings. It's not best to grow the game. And I think that's the problem is baseball should probably be at the point now where everything they do should be in the name of how do we keep growing this thing because we're only going down and down. And I do think that having some of your first playoff games and really exciting story, the Tigers doing what they do. Yeah. You're not really getting the full exposure to even a story like that where, they're going to be playing the Yankees, or not the Yankees. They're going to be playing the Guardians in a couple days here. And you don't really get to live in the moment of this amazing thing that just happened. So it just kind of feels very rushed. And I don't know why they feel the need to kind of just get this out of the way as quickly as possible. If I'm baseball, this is the dead period. There's no basketball. Right. Football still, they call you said the other day, they're calling September preseason in football now. Yeah. So this is really the time in which baseball should be capitalizing. And again, it just feels like they're trying to get this first initial round done with so that they can kind of get the heavy hitters, kind of, no pun intended, get them going.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head with the rushing thing, because why did you add the third wild card team if it's more of it seems like a nuisance? Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Why did you add it? Just don't even have that round. The argument would probably be TV money. Yeah. I guess some money's better than no money. But if I'm Major League Baseball, I understand baseball games are long and you have to control the timing. But those games that are playing while we're doing our show, they do not need to be played that early. And if I'm baseball, to your point, there's no basketball, not even preseason. No. There's no NFL. Somebody out there in SEC country is probably rewatching a Bama game. But you should have, based on YouTube, I think their thought process of we're going to have games all day. No, I'd rather you overlap them more. Yeah. And I can go to YouTube TV and have 4 different baseball games to go through. You do a MLB, you get Chris Rose or somebody out there to do the same version of an end zone, 100%. Right? Or what is it? A red zone. Yeah. And then every time somebody's in scoring position, he's talking about that. That makes more sense to me than, oh, no, we're going to have baseball all day, even though you're in meetings and your kid is in geometry class. No, you come home, you got 4 different games to choose from, and Bobby Witt Jr., who is one of your stars, is there on the big stage. That makes more sense to me than their idea of let's have baseball all day long. Because the Astros got eliminated. I'm driving home from the show. Yeah. And we're done it too. And then I forget that the Royals game is going on in the middle of that one too. Right. And so that ends when you're, it's like, oh, I forgot to turn it on. And then, it's just kind of, it feels like a mess. And, I get it. Like, I think it's their way of trying, like you said, baseball all day. It's kind of their pitch to it. But I do think baseball has its own, like football is probably the only other sport that is, like you explained, like as switchable during the game. Like you can miss, okay, hey,
I just wanted to see the Royals. I want to see Bobby Witt Jr. hit. Okay, that inning happened. I can now switch over to this other game where something else is happening.
Yeah.
It feels like baseball is really perfect for like a red zone kind of setting, and they don't have any version of it. And it just feels like that really hurts the casual entertainment value as well. For somebody who isn't just trying to get all engulfed into one game, someone who just wants to see the most baseball action possible,
Right.
You're not going to be able to do that. You're going to have to sit through everything. And again, it just makes that gap for the casual viewer, in my opinion, a lot bigger.
Yeah, I mean, and you can blink and something happens. It's kind of similar to soccer in a way. Basketball, football, you have constant action, right, in some capacity. Baseball, I'm literally, Chris, I'm sitting there, we're on the couch, me, wifey, baby Stiles. Baby Stiles comes, I'm watching the game, crawls on me. As soon as she crawls on me, there's a shot. Cedric Mullins home run. So I have to rewind it. Then the next thing that happens a little bit later, because it's the Braves and the Padres. She's brushing her teeth, getting ready for bed. I'm okay. I don't want to just sit here on the couch all day. Let me go help. And there's a shot. Michael Harris home run for the Braves. And so if there is something to where it's what did I just miss, and they can go back to it, cool. But I got the split screen, so then you got to click into one and then rewind it. It makes things more difficult. And I'm somebody that actually cares.
Yes.
So if you don't care that much, you're done. You're watching one of the 18 football shows, or you're watching Cleats and Treats or whatever it's called from Debo, and that's what you're doing. All right. So baseball got to figure it out. Coming up next, Q versus K, a battle of what Devonte asked K Adams to say. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
What sets Ashton & Price apart from other injury law firms? I'll tell you. From beginning to end, all important legal decisions are made directly between our clients and their experienced local attorney. A gate agent flying the plane, the receptionist performing surgery, not a chance. There's simply no substitute for the unique power of the direct attorney-client relationship offered by Ashton & Price. And there's never a fee until we win, and between you and me, we win a lot.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Hey, movie fans, the sequel we've been waiting for is playing at the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento. Joker, Folie à Deux, the IMAX experience.
2 years ago, the name Arthur Fleck hit Gotham like a hurricane.
Joaquin Phoenix reprises his role and is joined by Lady Gaga.
They're all going crazy for you.
Experience this psychological thriller with heart-pounding audio on the Esquire IMAX 6-story screen.
Let's get the people what they want.
Grab your tickets early for Joker, Folie à Deux at IMAX.com/Sacramento and reserve your seats today.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins. Nate providing the throwback. You guys remember, real quick, you guys ever prescribe, or if you used to, or maybe still did? I remember when Instagram was in its starting, when Instagram was kind of starting back in 2011, 2012, the Throwback Thursday, where you would post a Throwback Thursday.
Sure.
I was huge on that.
Oh, that's shocking.
Why? Are you being
joking.
sarcastic?
Yes, he was.
You guys would post Throwback Thursdays? No.
Maybe not every Thursday, but if I found a good excuse to do it, yeah. I do recall being like, I have to save this for Thursday because I need to post it specifically on Thursday.
Now, let me take this to the music realm. Do you find yourself, I will find myself using it as an excuse if I'm on Spotify and I don't really know, maybe I'm getting ready for New Music Friday. I've already cooked what I listened to last week. Thursday's kind of a perfect day, and it is Throwback Thursday. I'll just fire up some oldies but goodies.
Yeah, that'd probably be really helpful in my life. I'm, as Verlad will tell you, incredibly indecisive. And so like when I'm picking music, it's just, I almost like want I don't like the DJ feature, but I almost want Spotify to just like, I'm the daily mix one guy. I'm the Kendrick Lamar radio guy.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to pick the individual songs that I listen to. I just want to know that the next song up is going to be one that I don't have to change. If that makes sense. But I think it would help a lot if I followed that kind of mantra of like, oh yeah, Monday I'm going to listen to it's Motown Monday. I'm going to listen to a little bit more, 70s, 80s music, and then Thursday maybe I'll go early 2000s.
Well, and then the older we get, the level of throwbacks keeps growing.
Oh yeah,
because sometimes I'm in the mood for straight up Sam Cooke, some real throwbacks. Then I have middle school Allen throwbacks in the 2000s. Right, you got 90s throwbacks. So the level of throwback, and then now there's 2010s.
Yeah, no, that is throwback. Yeah,
I saw we are looking at 10 years away from 2015, and I saw this. It was a montage of everything 2015. Hotline Bling, technically a throwback now, which is insane.
Yes. Yep.
If it's 10 years old, you have to be a throwback.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the first realization that I was like, oh man, okay, like this aging thing is real. Like I'm turning on V101, and these are songs that I grew up with, and this is back at 5 years ago. I'm like, man, mom, dad, what's this song? And now I'm like,
you're the one.
Now they're playing Drake on here, and I'm like, what is going on?
I'm trying to remember. I don't know if it's on Spotify or somewhere. They have like witty terms for 2000s music that there's not straight up throwbacks, but you remember this one or something like that, where they're throwbacks, but they're not oldies, because that's what Hotline Bling would be to me. Is it a throwback? Yes. Is it an oldie? Come on. Absolutely not. All right. As we get into this K Adams and Devonte Adams and your boy Q Myers situation, let's start here with the initial question that prompted what Q had to say on his show. This is K Adams and what she asked Devonte Adams. Here it is.
And what I'm hearing is that here's what a lot of people think you may never play another down as a Raider. What would you say to that?
All I can control is this talk we're having right here. And then after we're done with this, all I can control is the next thing that I'm on to. So I'm gonna get up in a minute and get a nice workout in, and that's all I can control.
31 teams are about to go at 32, including you're just gonna. Here's the thing: you have the chance to shut the door, but it's not. Here, this is what I'm hearing from Devonte. It's not about you. It's you are settled, and you're on to the next. And there's a lot more going on. I hope you hear from your coach today.
Yeah, I do too.
Thank you. Oh boy. Thank you, Devonte Adams. Appreciate you. Feel better, most important.
So that was terribly awkward. And now Q Myers said this on his radio show, which prompted a response from K Adams. This is what Q had to say.
I heard that. I told anyone who would listen to me in the buildings at the radio station, he gone. he gone. Because Devonte, what I've learned over the last couple seasons that he's been with the Raiders is that he's very, as a matter of fact, he doesn't say anything. He's like a really good wide receiver where they don't waste any emotions. He doesn't say anything for no reason. And so when he answers those questions, the way he answered it, to me, it just let me know that, one, that was a question that was basically told to K Adams to ask because, he hadn't heard from his head coach, Antonio Pierce. Even the way she worded it. Well, this social media thing. Well, how quickly did you hear from your head coach? Right then and there. I didn't have to hear his response to know that was a question that she was told to ask because he hadn't heard.
Okay, so this is a fascinating road for us to go down. But
so after that happened, and he was on, Q was actually on Greeny. Okay, so this was done on a pretty big stage here. Q does have his own show, but this was on Greeny's show. After that happened, K Adams sees that clip, quote tweets it and says, in quotes, told to ask, close quote, is crazy. Q responds and says, was not a shot at anyone or their credibility, especially you, one of the best in the business. I know that there are times people will say, make sure you ask me about blank because I have something to say on it. Happens all the time. It's happened to me. Chris Watkins, as media members that do a radio show, we have had people on that will say, hey, what am I going to be asked about? Can you make sure you ask me about this, whether it's about sponsorships or whether it's about something they want to get across, right? And it might not be Devonte Adams, might be his handler, something like that.
Yeah,
so
right, that's a Very, very important.
Yes. So maybe Devonte
it doesn't have to be
himself-
straight from Devonte.
Yes, but the point is, you have a weekly hit with Devonte Adams, K.
Yep.
So you're not just shooting from the hip every week. That's why you are good at what you do, because you do plan this stuff out. So to act flabbergasted as if this,
especially with a question that big,
exactly.
That's a nerve-wracking question to ask somebody.
So she took whatever you want to call it told to ask. I think that's what she got told. That's why she felt some type of way. But I mean, those are semantics to me. The bottom line is that whether you got told or whether you got, hey, maybe you could ask.
He has something on this.
A conversation was had, K. Adams. So let's not play dumb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100% agreed. I mean, it's not. Like you said, I mean, we've never been in a situation where someone has directly told us, hey, ask this question. But sometimes, like we'll have writers on or something and they'll say, hey, just so you know, I have this coming down the line. Maybe ask me about, just to throw out an example of somebody, let's say we're having Sean Cunningham on and he maybe has something that isn't going to be released yet. Maybe later tonight, he's going to release something about Sac State football stadium or something like that. He'll say, hey, just so you know, I have something down the line tonight about the Sac State football. Maybe you should ask me on the way out a question like that. And so more just to say, these conversations are very normal to have in that kind of capacity. And I think that's probably what happened, because we know, I mean, no disrespect to Kay Adams, but like, she's not really trying to get these clickbaity, hard-hitting questions. She's more so like, I don't want to say it's a fluff piece, but it is a weekly hit for you to kind of openly speak about what you want. I don't think that that's normally in her line of questioning. Really, like, I didn't know about the Antonio Pierce liking the Instagram post until Kay Adams blew it up. And so I kind of feel like on a platform as big as hers, you wouldn't bring up something that's pretty deep in like social media square, in social media spaces. That's not a public story yet. And I think her asking Devonte's response
and her
made
response
it into
back.
a really big story. Yes, and hers too.
Wow. It was, and Russell on the Sac chat is saying it was obvious the whole thing was staged. The interview was so cringe. It was bizarre.
It was strange.
It was really bizarre. So, of course, a lot of people are writing for Kay Adams because that's what they're going to do as far as the likes are concerned. But a lot of the comments are saying, Kay, let's not act like you don't go into interviews not having an idea of what you're going to ask. Now, whether or not she would say, well, yeah, but nobody told me to ask that.
Sure.
We can go back and forth. But ultimately, there are production meetings. If we have production meetings on our show,
I guarantee
they just showed, I saw Emmanuel Acho, he posted a video of the behind the scenes of their production meeting for the facility on FS1. There were 10 to 15 people in there.
They have
Kay, let's not, you don't just walk in there and say, hey, we have Devonte, what are we talking about today? You knew.
Yeah.
And I don't even think that's that big of a deal.
I don't either.
I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe she wants to feel like, hey, and I don't know how she identifies, but she wants to feel like I come up with this stuff myself.
Sure.
But I don't think anybody is taking anything away.
No.
And everybody said it's not even a shot as far as Q is concerned. It's not even a shot at Kay. It's more of a shot at Devonte.
Yes. Yeah. That he wanted, that Devonte was wanted it to be a story.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. We have more on Antonio Pierce and we have more on Devonte Adams, and we discussed some of the landing spots as well. We have updates. We want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Devonte Adams? I know some Raider fans want him out of here. Niner fans, too much drama for you? It's nothing compared to Brandon Ayuk, I know. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Kevin Herter plays here.
It's Herter. He's been hot. He fires. He's still hot. Kevin Herter from downtown has a 15-point first quarter.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all four arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Fall's right around the corner, and there's no better way to experience nature and everything that Northern California has to offer than in a Jeep. And right now, it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And they've got the deals and selection for you. From sales to service, they're going to prove to you why they deserve your business. Their GM, Chuck Dean, he has this talent of not only getting you the best deal in town, but he also is able to build an inventory that other dealers are jealous of. SacSuperstore.com and located off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Hey, October's already heating up on the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. Enjoy family fun at Dave's Pumpkin Patch in West Sacramento all month long. Pick your perfect pumpkin, navigate the corn maze, jump on a massive jumping pillow, and create unforgettable memories for the kids. On October 20th, don't miss Renee Vaca at the Crest Theater for a night of laughs and entertainment. And mark your calendar for Sinners and Saints, the region's best Halloween party on October 26th at the venue at Thunder Valley, complete with a $5,000 costume contest. It's the most spooktacular event of the season. Looking ahead into November, join us for Legends of Motown at the venue at Thunder Valley November 23rd, bringing you the classic hits that defined a generation. And you're not going to want to miss the Jersey Boys Midtown Men Holiday Show December 8th, also at the venue at Thunder Valley. It's going to be a night filled with festive cheer and old school classics. And stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for all your live event updates and your chance to win tickets.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean. And there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, we are an hour away from the Mike Epps ticket giveaway. Chris will pick the number today.
Okay.
It was 2 last time.
Oh, I will not pick 2.
Yes, it was 2 yesterday, and they went quick. They went quick. All right. As we get back into this Antonio Pierce drama with Devonte Adams, here is Antonio Pierce. He was asked about Devonte Adams a couple times yesterday, and just, did what you would expect, kind of just skated around it, but here it is.
I was wondering if you could address that.
Yeah, Devonte's dealing with a hamstring. He's rehabbing, and the rest of us are focused on Denver.
Is he here in the building today? Or?
He's supposed to be rehabbing.
So yesterday, Devonte went on the Up and Adams show and discussed, I guess, a social media post earlier this week. Is that something that was accidental on your part in terms of liking the post? Or?
Yeah, I'm just focused on Denver.
Have you communicated with Devonte, and where is the relationship with you? And
me and Devonte talk often.
Have you talked to him since all of this?
I believe that between me and Devonte.
Are you concerned at all about this being a distraction?
No, because we're focused on Denver.
Antonio, given all the reports that are out there about Devonte, how are you able to focus simply on the Broncos coming up?
I've been doing them. You talking about me personally?
And then how do you?
Because it starts with me, because that's my only focus. I get paid here to get ready each and every week for the opponent. I don't blink. I don't flinch. I don't know. I've said it before. Like, I've been through enough in my life with adversity and stuff that it doesn't bother me. I just move forward. The next obstacle in front of me is the Denver Broncos. And that's what I presented to my team, and that's what they're doing right now in the meeting. And we're about to go out to practice and do it versus the Broncos.
Get the sense that they absorb that message?
100%.
Go ahead.
Do you have an update on Nikes?
Yeah, still battling.
regardless if it's Devonte or any other player, if there was a trade conversation, would that be a conversation with you, Telesco, combination of the both? How would that go?
I think everybody involved, right? Myself, Telesco, Mark Davis.
Coach, with the Devonte Adams situation, is there a message or a tone or a precedent you're trying to set with the situation at all, or?
No, just business as usual. Just got to keep rolling. I mean, it's NFL. Things come up every day. Since I've taken over this job, it's been obstacles. So just another one.
Funny enough, this is how Draper talks to me when I try to talk to him.
Just short, sweet, and to the point.
Has anybody wanted to be somewhere less?
Oh, man.
And just so everyone knows, too, that's a supercut as well. Those were not all like lined up question after question after question. Somebody cut those together to put them together. It was not just a barrage, but I mean, that was still, what, like 10 questions in a one sitting?
That was rough.
I think he's lying because he said, I don't blink. And I saw the man blink several times in that video.
That is also like, I get it. I think if you ask him, that is a version of taking accountability, but like if I'm a player, like there is no acknowledgement of any wrongdoing there. And like, to me, like the easy.
You mean liking the picture?
Yes. Yeah. Like there is no squashing of any of that. To me, that was all avoidance. It was all, oh, actually you guys are making a mountain out of a molehill. We're fine. We talk. It's whatever. And just clearly not trying to me, if you want to squash it, you just say, yeah, like, whether it was an accident or not, like I told Devonte, he probably should have already told Devonte. I don't think he did, but like, got to be better, can't have distractions. And that starts with me. And, we're going to try and move forward as a team. But when you say, we're on to Cincinnati, like, Bill Belichick said, it's like Mark McGuire saying no comment to being asked about steroids. It's like you're saying more by avoiding the question than addressing it head up. And it's funny. I said it, I think earlier this week or last week, but I thought Antonio Pierce was brought in to be the culture guy, to be the guy that stops all these distractions and all these Raiders can't help but Raider. And it feels like they're just falling into the same drama trap that this organization seems to fall into all the time.
Well, I do think it's a little bit of a contradiction because Antonio Pierce, he's one of those guys where I'm big on accountability.
Yeah, stand on business, right?
Yeah, I'm big on accountability, and you weren't accountable for your actions. Now, you could say, well, I didn't want to address it there because it would be a distraction, but you still need to be accountable for the distraction that you've now brought on top of this Devonte Adams thing. I don't know how this would have went if you didn't, as stupid as it sounds, like I said, look but don't like. As stupid as it sounds, in this day and age, that stuff matters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's better to just say, you know what, guys, I honestly can't even remember the headspace I was in. There was just been a lot going on. I can't even remember if I saw it and liked it on purpose, to be honest with you, but I just want to move on. But to just completely ignore, there has to be some level. You don't even have to fully say, I'm not really messing with Devonte right. So I like the dang picture. What you gonna do? You don't even need to do that.
No.
I think there's a level of just I'm not really sure what happened there. I'm on my phone and we're doing a bunch of stuff, but I saw it come. I acknowledge. I saw it come through.
I addressed it,
and me and Devonte have spoke since, and we're just moving forward. So speaking of moving forward, here's Michael Lombardi on Antonio Pierce and whether or not he's losing the locker room. So let's hear what Michael Lombardi has to say.
I think Devonte's been very clear, and he's been very private about it. I'm not saying anything that he's done is wrong. I mean, he's been very upfront about what he wants, and he didn't show up to the off-season program for a bunch of other reasons. But I think essentially, nothing says I'm sorry better than money. And unless you're willing to reward the contract, I think it's going to be a problem. I've never seen a guy not go to – Max Crosby didn't go to the game on Sunday with a hamstring. That, to me, bothers me. That tells me there's something going on in that locker room. Now, look, Antonio Pierce has taken over. He was the interim coach. When you're the substitute teacher, it's a lot easier to get the students to listen and behave and do all those things. When you become the full-time teacher, all of a sudden you have to change your personality. We've really only seen two coaches go from interim status to full-time status and have a longevity in their NFL careers. Jason Garrett being one, Doug Marrone in Jacksonville being the other. So this is a challenging job, and you change because the position requires you to change. You're a head coach, and the players see that change, and they're like, what happened to the dude that was last year? It's a hard thing, Pat, and I think it's a tough situation to be put in.
So
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of how I feel as well. Is like, Antonio Pierce, I'm sure everybody loves the defensive coordinator, right? Everyone loves the guy who's getting everyone hyped, and he feels
Backup
like
QB.
the team's best friend. He's the cool dad or the cool uncle, where when coach is tripping, you can go walk up to Antonio Pierce and be like, man, like from player to player, I know you used to play a couple years ago, AP. You probably can relate with us. Like, isn't coach tripping? This is wild. And you go from that position of, again, being, the confidant, the player's best friend to, well, now you're the guy who's tripping. You're the guy that everyone's talking about. And I think that it is a kind of a tough adjustment, is to go from, being the hard-hitting tone setter to now, okay, when you're kind of ruling over everything, maybe that tone isn't necessarily the one that, especially in today's day and age, though it still is football, I don't know if that hits the same as maybe what it would have when AP was coaching. I'm sure he's got a lot of experience with guys like Tom Coughlin and things like that. I don't know if Tom Coughlin works in today's NFL.
Here's the reality of the situation. Sometimes you miss the boat on something and you try to make up for it. And that's exactly what the Raiders did with this Antonio Pierce situation. I'm not saying Antonio Pierce isn't going to be successful. Somebody said it's the first, they haven't won in Baltimore in years. They put up the most points, 63 points, and they put up a very long time, right? They beat one of the only teams to beat the Chiefs.
Right.
There are some things that he's done well. But the reality of the situation is that the Raiders had no choice, or felt like they had no choice, but to hire Antonio Pierce after the fan base felt like they botched the Rich Bisaccia 100%. Situation. So they were trying to atone for their sins when they didn't go with Rich Bisaccia, and that was a complete disaster, who is now assistant coach and special teams coordinator for the Packers. So it's not like a bunch of people were knocking on his door, but he is still in the league. Once that happened and people felt like that was the miss, because they went to the playoffs that season. Once that happened and that was a miss, they felt like, once we were put in this situation again, let's go in a different direction. Let's go with the guy that was the substitute teacher and move on from there. Whether that was the right decision or not, that remains to be seen. But I think that the Raiders felt pressure and they felt like they had no choice 100%. But to go in that direction.
100%. And the funny thing is, I mean, you can maybe speak more to this because I know you like to indulge sometimes, but like with card games, what's the rule? Like if you have a rule of don't hit on 16 and you don't hit on 16, you need to stick to that rule, right? You can't go flipping from, I didn't hit last time and it kind of screwed me. I think this time I should do it. Like you have to stay consistent in that thing. And, I think the Kings can tell you, sometimes the worst thing you could do is hiring the interim. Like the interim coaches are interims for a reason. You should probably give it a legitimate coaching search. And if you still feel like at the end of that search, you have the right guy, absolutely. And I think the Raiders did do a little bit of kicking the tires around the league, but definitely seemed a lot more so like what you just laid out, that they essentially did this because AP did definitely earn the respect of getting that job. Like you said, beating the Chiefs and having the great second half of the season they did. But I don't know if anybody, I didn't really believe. We've talked about rah versus X's and O's. Was Antonio Pierce ever really going to work out for more than 2 or 3 seasons? I just never thought so.
Yeah, I'm looking here. Bleacher Report has this is from 2012, the historical list. It is not a favorable method of getting that coveted head coaching job, but it has happened throughout NFL history. I found 42 cases where a head coach was replaced by an interim head coach from his staff during the season, and that coach then took over full time. And basically, the long and the short of it, overall, not a very successful group. So again, it's from 2012, but in total, these interim situations don't typically work out. And look, I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about Swim, but if there was a situation and somebody had a rule that anytime they play roulette, and the first time they lay something down, it's got to be on black, you got to stick to it, even if red hits a couple times, because then all of a sudden you move away from it and then black hits. And I think that's what happened with the Raiders. And that's not to say, but let's think about it like this, Chris. The Raiders have a history of just completely botching these head coach situations, okay? Not only did they, and we'll never know if Rich Bisaccia would have worked out or not. But everybody, that one I think was more obvious at the time than what Antonio Pierce did. And then you had the John Gruden thing where the Raiders got investigated for the Rooney Rule and everything else because everybody and their mother knew they were going back to John Gruden. So they've never really gone about the coaching process correctly.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that falls on Mark Davis and the powers that be, because this has been an issue for a while now.
Yeah,
this has been an issue for a while now. Coming up next, Devonte Adams is probably out the door. Vic Tafer yesterday, senior writer for The Athletic, said he's probably played his last game with the Raiders due to that hamstring and other things. Let's talk about landing spots. Adam Schefter came up with a list. How do you feel about the list? Is your team on the list? Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real. And I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy you happiness, but money did help you buy an RV, which means an excuse from working Saturday with your insufferable coworker, Dave. So money is helping you listen to birds chirp instead of Dave chirping about how his toddler is fluent in 3 languages. And it's also why you'll be smelling pine trees in the air, not Dave's tuna melt reheating in a microwave. So save money by bundling your RV or boat insurance with home or auto from Progressive and buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Where do you go when you need someone to represent you? For me, you want someone that is local and that you can actually get to and talk with. There are plenty of big branded lawyers out there with the name, but you never get to talk to them. So go to saclegaldefense.com and connect with the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez. He's local, he'll represent you, and he'll have your back. Whether it's expungements, wrongful termination, when you're in a spot when you need legal help, call the law offices of Jonathan Gonzalez at 916-304-9187.
When shopping for a new car, what do you want? A great selection? A low monthly payment? More for your trade? At Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, you get it all.
Model year-end savings are going on now. It's savings you just can't say no to.
Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023
total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
She used to meet me on the east side.
Khalid, live in concert. See him performing at the venue at Thunder Valley, Saturday, October 5th. Get tickets now at ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss the sensational Khalid for one night only at the venue at Thunder Valley, Saturday, October 5th. For more, visit KhalidOfficial.com.
Sacktown Sports. Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins. Taking up to 2 p.m. It's time for some Devonte Adams landing spots. Then at 11, we will play the Kevin Huerter interview, which will lead us right into Mike Epps and that ticket giveaway. That will kick off our NBA Kings convos.
The sack is lit.
Today. Thank you, Whitey. So, Chris, you have Ian Rappaport mentioning a couple teams, and the list is interesting because if I'm looking at this correctly, a lot of people are mentioning the Jets, but Ian Rappaport doesn't mention the Jets on his list.
Yeah, very interesting. As Devonte Adams is, as it's kind of a fluid situation, right? We like to use that word here. Ian Rappaport is reporting yesterday that there are 6 teams that he's heard have interest in Devonte Adams, or that Devonte has interest in them, and those are the New Orleans Saints, the Pittsburgh Steelers. It should be noted, obviously, Derek Carr with the Saints. Steelers obviously were heavily involved in the Brandon Ayuk sweepstakes. A name that wasn't involved in the Brandon Ayuk sweepstakes, a little bit surprising to see here. The Baltimore Ravens are mentioned, the Buffalo Bills, as are the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. And like you said, eerily absent from that list is the New York Jets, who I think are the most heavily rumored team just because of the comments of Aaron Rodgers over the summer and obviously the previous connection of Devontae and Aaron Rodgers, and the Kansas City Chiefs, who I think a lot of people are just kind of counting out due to the rivalry with the Raiders. A lot of people just kind of think, and the financials of the Chiefs as well. A lot of people think that that's more of a pipe dream, but I'm still not going to rule it out. And so, those seem to be the leading names right now with, continually more smoke. I would say starting to get around the Saints. And, I think I've seen definitely we're obviously locals here. So you've seen a lot of Niner stuff as well resurface with those Brandon Ayuk conversations over summer. And he's kind of underperformed this year and been a bit unhappy seemingly in camp or during practices. So, maybe the Niners could be the landing spot for one Devonte Adams.
Yeah, maybe and you got to think Brandon Ayuk. The big thing with Brandon Ayuk, as the Raiders were connected with Brandon Ayuk when people thought they could possibly get Jaden Daniels along with Brandon Ayuk because they all have a connection with Antonio Pierce, who just got hit with a couple sanctions from the NCAA,
8-year
from his time with Arizona State, but the 3 of them were all there together. So that's why that popped up. Jordan Schultz, who has a huge following, NFL insider, says the Cowboys are not interested in trading for Devonte Adams per source. The Chiefs are obviously going to be in the receiver market, but a divisional trade is highly unlikely. The Jets are seen by many executives as a top landing spot, though other teams are expected to be involved. It's funny with the Chiefs because, and they're not on the Ian Rappaport list. It's funny with the Chiefs because Mahomes is so good. They probably say we need a receiver, but we definitely would go the Amari Cooper route if he's still available.
Yeah.
Because Mahomes is so good, you don't need to pay the division tax, the rivalry tax to get Devonte Adams.
No.
I don't think you need that. I think Amari Cooper would be perfect because you just need a possession guy for when Xavier Worthy, is tired from running go routes. So I don't think the Chiefs will be in the mix. The Cowboys, Jordan Schultz is just saying per source. I don't know, man. I'm be honest. The the teams that I think is not going to happen, the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's really a matter of, do they want to screw over Devonte or do they want to work together? How amicable is the situation? Because to me, the Steelers makes no sense. The Ravens, depends on how you feel as Lamar as a thrower of the football. Kind of don't think it makes sense if we're being completely honest. You have Mark Andrews, who you can't even find Mark Andrews from game to game. Saints make sense to me. Cowboys do make sense to me. Buffalo Bills make sense to me. And if the Niners truly, I don't even know if the Niners make sense just from an age standpoint. Why don't you just power through this situation? If you think Brandon Ayuk is worth $30 million,
right?
He's younger than Devonte Adams. So to me, if you trade Brandon Ayuk, that tells me you really never wanted to give him the deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
Because he's younger. He's already got a relationship with Brock.
Yeah, maybe there's instant buyer's remorse or something. That's really the only excuse. I can't really think of the reason why. Like you said, Ayuk's younger, and there's every reason to believe that you'll get way more production for Ayuk in this contract than you would for whatever Devonte has left in his career. So, yeah, to me, Dallas and Buffalo, to me, feel like the two that I could see in as things start to unfold. I could see those two kind of being the prominent names. Buffalo just doesn't really have anybody.
Besides the Chiefs.
The Chiefs are going to be there, like you said, though. It's just a matter of if that happens. The Jets, too. The Jets are going to be there. It's just a matter of if they want to give it up. But I think the Jets, the confusing thing with the Jets is a lot of people, I think completely wrongly, are saying, oh, the Jets are going to throw Garrett Wilson into that trade. There's no way. There's just 0% chance that happens. That doesn't make any sense. The only thing I think that makes a little bit of sense, and even then, I don't really see why, unless the Raiders are just taking a complete upside. If the Jets throw a second or a third and Hassan Reddick, who hasn't shown up for them at all, maybe the Raiders, that's the thing. Exactly. Is like if the Raiders see the value in maybe having Max Crosby and Hassan Reddick and just kind of really leaning into that defense being the thing that saves them, that maybe can happen, but I don't really see how the Jets make that deal. I think the Cowboys are just the most desperate. I mean, we've talked about it before. That team is Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, or that offense at least is Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. That's really it. And so maybe throwing Devonte in there at least gives you another angle of that team. And we know that Jerry obviously loves his stars, and Jerry isn't really thinking 10 years in the future. He's thinking these next 3 to 5 years because he doesn't know we don't know how long Jerry's going to be with us anymore. He's trying to squeeze one more Super Bowl out. I think the Cowboys probably are the most likely to overspend. It's just a matter of if Devonte would want to go over there, and I don't see why he wouldn't.
I don't see why he wouldn't either. All right, 916-339-1140. Uh-oh. Let's get to Frank, the Raider, see what Frank has to say. What's up, Frank? What you got for us?
What's up, Stiles? First of all, the Niners won't trade Ayuk because if they trade him, that's a $40 million cap hit against them.
Right.
So they're not doing that. And second of all, Devontae, man, this is the second team he quit on. If he goes to the Jets, once Rodgers leaves, they're going to want to sign him to a 3-year deal. Mm-hmm. He'll cry his way out of the Jets because they won't have a quarterback.
Yep.
They'll be the third team he's quit on: Green Bay, the Raiders, and the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I love the guy, but he lied to the Raiders. He's whatever. Next of all, we're winning in Denver. Then we're coming back, beating the Steelers. Then we're playing the Rams, beating the Rams. They're all banged up. We're going 5-2 in playing the Chiefs.
Wow, Frank! Great
I
stuff,
love Frank now,
as always.
Frank's awesome.
But I do want to know. I know we're up against it, but I do want to know what Devonte lied about. Maybe it's just a matter of lied about wanting to be there. I mean,
right? I guess.
Yeah,
he loved the Raiders.
That he loved.
It wasn't just a Derek Carr thing. It was like, no, I always wanted to be a Raider.
In the Vic Tafur article, he says, grew up in Palo Alto, Raider fan. So that is part of it. I just think that he tried.
Yeah, that was my thing. That's what I was going to say is I don't blame Devonte Adams. Devonte Adams showed up and the team was one thing. And ever since then, the offense is just kind of dwindled. And he's still been there. And, the reports are he wanted out last year too, but he's been there. I don't see how this is necessarily his fault that he wants out of a situation where he only has a couple good years left of his career. He's trying to maximize it. Like, I don't see what's necessarily wrong with that, especially when it doesn't seem like the Raiders really have a direction or a clear direction in which they're going for the remainder of Devontae's career. Like, if we had a little bit more faith in Aiden O'Connell, but I don't think that there's many illusions that he is really going to be the Raiders' future quarterback option.
Yeah, I mean, the whole deal that they went through with the Raiders when they made those moves, none of those literally, Chris, none of those deals worked out, and that's kind of what Vic had mentioned when they traded for Devonte Adams, and everybody thought, okay, they're going to go all in here. All of those deals that they attempted, they just didn't work out. You know what I mean? They put money into Darren Waller. Darren Waller didn't work out. Hunter Renfrow. None of these guys are even in the league anymore.
Right.
Darren Waller is no longer in the league.
He's not.
Hunter Renfrow is no longer in the league. You know, and Derek Carr is on another team.
Had his foot out the league.
Had his foot out the league. So I don't really know. Maybe I'm missing something, or it's the way he did things. Personally, I just think that it's a matter of how the receiver show made him look, right? And maybe that just moved people or pushed people in a bad direction. And by the way, another name, free agent pass rusher, Chandler Jones, no longer in the league.
No.
So, and we hope he's okay. So those are all those deals that they made with that renaissance involved or in mind.
And Josh Jacobs isn't there anymore.
And Josh Jacobs is gone too. So I understand it. Maybe it's just the way he went about it, but I get it. Fans are going to ride for their teams, and that's what it is. And they go up now. They won their last game. Broncos, weirdly, on a 2-game winning streak. So who knows what's going to happen this weekend? But Frank says they're going 5-2. All right. Coming up next, we have the Kevin Huerter interview as Kevin Huerter sat down with the morning show. And like I said, I heard some clips of it, and it was great stuff. So you don't want to miss the exclusive Kevin Huerter interview from Media Day coming up next. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in.
Now, hello.
Tight fit.
Joining us right now. Back for another round.
CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is your unsurpassed spot to find the hottest golf gear, best pricing, and elite expertise. Every club on the shelves can be tried for free on the driving range. 3 TrackMan units and a Hagen Oaks team of skilled fitting professionals provide the finest club fitting experience. Our personable Super Shop staff will show you the newest to help you look and play your best. You love golf. The Hagen Oaks team loves golf too. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80. Learn more at hagenoaks.com or 916-481-GOLF.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off? about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Plati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles Watkins, 30 minutes away from the Mike Epps tickets. But first, as promised, our exclusive interview from the morning show. Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross, with the one, the only, Kevin Herter. Here it is.
Joining us right now. Back for another round at least. Freshly coiffed.
Yeah.
That is good looking
that's
haircut.
Media Day hair.
It's Kevin Herter, Red Velvet, everybody. Hello.
Tight fit. I just, you remove the headband, all of a sudden you can see the haircut. It's crazy how that works.
So there's not been a stylistic change in the hair from last year necessarily. We're just not wearing a headband.
Just gone shorter, I would say, in general.
On the sides.
On the sides, yeah. The headband allowed for longer hair that
it did.
I didn't want to be, touching my hair all game, so the headband kind of
was almost kind of moving into your world with he was getting kind of feathered and longer. And
he gets long, but Domas is in the locker room pressing it. He presses it down to make sure it works for the game.
Yeah.
So the headband's done for the year. It's not happening?
I think the headband has seen its last days.
Wow. Breaking news on Sacktown Sports 1140. The headband is no more.
Headband's done. Well, the NBA is probably happy because I was getting a new headband every game. Because that was just, what do you call that? Yeah, when you got to keep doing the same thing.
Yeah.
There's a word for this.
Come on, superstition.
So superstition. I had a new one every game. I reused them for practice, so I wasn't a complete bum. Sorry?
What'd you do with the old ones? Sorry.
The old ones, if we won, they went to a fan. If we lost, they went to the trash. So.
I got it.
Yeah.
So I know you've seen a fan that looks like you or tries to look like you. You think how soon will he pick it up that you don't wear the headband anymore?
We shall see. We'll see if he continues the haircuts because I could just start doing some crazy things. Like if I'm not sure how old he is, but like if I were to per se buzz, would he get it back?
See how far he'll go with it.
See how far he'll go.
Got like a mohawk one day.
Flip the script.
Yeah.
Flip the script.
Pressure on him.
Diet, maybe.
See how committed is he to the bit, right? Like you have to find out.
Some people are about it. Some people just talk about it.
What about isn't there a fan out there that I'm sure there's many, but isn't there one that has like this massive crush on you and posts about it all the time? Like I see it on Twitter. It's like I think the name is like I'm in love with Kevin Herter or something like that.
I have one very loyal fan from my Atlanta days that her name is Alicia. I still think goes to at least 1 or 2 a year. She only wears my jerseys. But we're cool. I see her in the huddles. I say what's up.
Nice.
It's great. She's a great fan.
We have the same, we deal with it all. And it's like, it's awesome. Like,
but it's always cool unless there's not like a boundary that's crossed. And she's been good. She's been great. She's been great.
Nice. I got to ask you about the Yankees. You want the Royals or do you want the Come on.
I was waiting for this. I was waiting for this
Yeah,
talk.
you want the Orioles or the Royals?
I think I want the Royals.
Yeah.
But Seth
First
Lugo and Bobby Witt kind of scare me.
Okay.
But worst lineup.
He's a Giants fan. They don't have to really worry about anything.
New
Well,
York
the other
Football Giants.
Yeah.
Football Giants.
You're better quarterback than Daniel Jones. I'm sorry, but aren't you?
I plead the fifth, although we are going to be probably right in line to figure out if he's the guy.
Yeah.
It's a prove it year. He knows that.
Yes.
That actually would have been funny if Kevin right there, you said that. And he's like, yeah, well, as you know, Daniel's my first cousin. We grew up together.
Can you imagine?
He's having a tough time right now. That would have been funny.
He's been better. He's been better this year. So there's his credit.
Are you cleared, by the way? You cleared? Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Not cleared.
No.
What's
I still
it take to get
have my surgeon to think I'm
Just
ready
a
to go.
signature?
Yeah. Anytime you have surgeries, I mean, even our team doctors here, my agent, it's surgeon knows best. He was the one who was on the inside, saw it. He has his own plan. So I see him every couple weeks. I go back, I think October 7th, and hopefully I get good news. But, I mean, everybody's kind of in agreement. This is something that once I'm back, I want to be back and not have to be dealing with something that's lingering. So I'm going to, I want to be back in the court. I want to be playing game one. In a perfect world, I get to sneak a preseason game in there. We'll see. In a perfect world. But also I want this to be something when I do return to the court that it's behind me officially. So until we get to that point, then we'll be back.
So I'm going to ask you one of those radio questions, and I know generally athletes give a certain answer, but you're a pretty straightforward dude. I'm not trying to, throw excuses at you or anything, but I think a lot of people want to know some of the struggles you were having last year, because you'd said at one point this had been bothering you for a while. Was it in part because that shoulder was bothering you?
No, I'll say no. It's something I've had for years. Something that I definitely tweaked on multiple occasions, sometimes in practice, sometimes in games. I stayed away from certain plays that I knew would bother it, but I had the same issue my first year here. So the year I had a career year, and then the following year where it wasn't a career year, I wouldn't sit here and put my finger and say my shoulder was the issue.
But you've been playing with I won't say a bum shoulder, but you've been playing with a not perfect shoulder your whole career. For 3 or 4 years now. I first did it, I think it was my second or third year in Denver. We were on the road, and that was the first time. I think it was a Terry's minor, they called it. Okay. Strain, and I think I was out for maybe 4 weeks. And until from then, it hasn't been right. What if it's what's that movie with Rowan Gardner?
Henry Rowan Gardner, the rookie.
What if it's like that?
That'd
You
be
got
sick,
the surgery.
except it's my left.
Your first three-pointer.
Yeah, but would you shoot left if it was worth it?
That's a great point.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could just make it from everywhere. And you're shooting lefty now?
Lefties have all the advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Everyone knows that.
It goes through the backboard.
Lefty batter, lefty shooter.
Good point.
Lefty QB.
Lefty QB.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
Except for writing. You don't want to be a lefty writing.
Well, because especially if you're sitting next to somebody and they're a righty, because then you're elbow hugging.
Yeah.
Well, then you just rub your own words the whole time.
Right. No, that's a great point. I never
Yeah.
thought about that either.
You have thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my kids will bat lefty. They'll shoot lefty. All of it.
Kick lefty, whatever. Just make them lefties.
Yeah. Whether they want to or not.
You said your kids. Got me thinking. Last year at Media Day, didn't we do a relationship report at Media Day last year?
I think we were.
Or it was just where are we at? We asked them. We like to get personal, but for all the ladies out there,
Hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies. They
How
want
are
to
you?
know. They want to know what's going on. You good?
I am in a relationship.
Oh,
It's,
breaking
fair.
news again. Wow.
I am.
Headband, relationship.
I think it was when the headband was removed. That's when officially.
Is that what's going on?
and
Okay.
She came along.
Someone's calling the shots now.
She did. That's correct.
How's your podcast set up doing? We see you on other shows. I'm not saying it's a jealousy thing.
A little bit.
It's kind of a jealousy thing, but it's fine. We had our thing. We always talked about how you did take it seriously, and we appreciated that. Like you
had the gear.
You had the gear. Like the first one was like the closet was open in the back, and then the next thing, like everything's dialed in. So we still believe you're going to be a broadcaster if you want to when you're done with all this.
Shall see. We shall see. Hopefully there's a couple of different options. It's fun. I mean, you could talk about sports.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't sit here and say it's easy. You got to do your preparation. You guys would know, but it's not the worst thing to be doing in the world.
No, it just takes a lot of skill, like a lot of skill. Very skilled. So you're good though, man. Like honestly, we're screwing around a little bit, but we do with you. But you're such a huge part of this team. And again, I'm going to assume I know you probably better than I do, but I got the distinct impression in all our conversations that you are insanely competitive. And when you're not at 100%, whether it's performance or health or a combination, you get really pissed. And, like, you're on it this year. Like, I have a feeling you're like a slingshot ready to go this year.
Yeah, I'm definitely ready to go. A lot of motivation on my part for sure. Yeah, that's the thing. And I think just generally as fans, like, most guys that make it to this level and this, like, we're harder on ourselves than anybody else could be. To the point where I have coaches and people around me telling me to chill out,
right.
And so it's been a long off season. I've had a lot of time to reflect and think and hope and look forward to this day and obviously tomorrow in training camp. Like I said, the shoulder is obviously the step that I have to get right and figure out. But yeah, I mean, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to continue to prove myself. It's not something that you're never in this league where you don't have to continue to prove yourself. Right. Everyone's, if you look at the average career, there's most of the guys that come through in this league, it's year by year. What have you done for me lately? That's what this league is. And so just like I was ready last year, the year before, like it's a brand new season, ready to prove myself again. And I know how much I can help this team. And when I'm on, I think the level of this team raises drastically. And when I'm off, it just makes it a lot harder on other guys. So I'll be ready to go.
Yeah, the competition on your own team for you and for everybody is kind of significant this year, isn't it?
It is, but again, that's the NBA. That's kind of it's the best of the best, and it's a good problem to have. Obviously, there's a lot of talent on this team. That, again, if everybody does their job, we're going to be pretty good. And Mike gets to figure out how all those pieces figure out and fit together. But we still root for each other. We're going to come in this gym, work hard, obviously figure it out.
We'll go back to what you were saying about the summer and how hard you've been working. We had this conversation a few weeks ago, so it's kind of appropriate to bring it up here with an actual pro athlete. When you're in high school, when you're in college, you're doing that morning road work, you're pushing harder in the gym because you have this dream. Like, you have a goal in your head, right? And then without getting into, too into your finances, but we can all look it up. Like, you're not... You get to do the extra value meal like supersize if you want. You're not worried about your bank account. What is the drive once you know you're generationally wealthy and that money is guaranteed and you've achieved your dream? I understand you're still young, but do you have to dig deeper to find that fire when as you didn't in college or high school? Isn't any different?
Honestly, no, not yet.
Yeah, okay.
It's always the next thing. Like, it's always the next one. Here's Dougie.
Just got a...
This is my people. You treating them right?
Yeah, just don't ever call them on the air. Yeah, ever.
Except this guy right here. Say, Kev, Sacramento will be voting. Headband or no headband?
Oh, we believe no headband. I believe it's no headband.
You bought in, huh?
No headband.
Attaboy.
Now we're getting the rest of the story.
Start hanging out with
Doug
Dougie
Christie.
more. Now I'm playing Jane over here.
You might not have any hair if you hang out with me.
Yeah, I got to stay away.
Yeah.
You were saying it hasn't changed, really, your motivations.
It's always the next thing. Like, there's always...
Goalpost change?
Goalpost change. Yeah. Like, it's even the day that I signed my first contract in the NBA, it was, okay, now I want to get the second contract. Now it's the day I signed the second one, now you want to sign third. And hopefully the day I sign third, it's what's after that? What's fourth? Like, the goalposts always move. It was the same way in high school. You make this all-star game, you win this thing. What am I doing in college? You make college, NCAA tournament. Okay, what am I doing? Like, there's always the next thing. And for me, I continue to find whatever that next thing is. And maybe when I get to DeMar's point in year 16, that might change, but I'm still too young, still year 7, 26. There's still too much I want to achieve.
Do you? That's kind of weird in your career. Do you feel like you're a young player? Or you're in that sweet spot where you're a young veteran? Like, where do you feel like you are?
I feel young, but I also am like, how have I been in this league 7 years already?
Yeah.
Because I like vividly remember my rookie year. Like, remember having to do all the duties and thinking and looking at guys on our team like, I can't wait till I'm in year 5 or 6 where I can start making guys do this type of thing. And every year I feel like I come in and I'm 1 or 2 years older than these guys. I'm like, I can't make this guy pick up my bags and I can't make him do this. But I feel young, but seven years is legit. That's a vet. It's vet status.
It doesn't go away. We still feel young.
Yeah.
And then look at our beards. And then I found it like literally like a 2-inch hair growing out of the back of my ear, the back end of my. You start sprouting hair where you did not think it was possible. It's an incredibly weird thing getting older, and you're like 26. I would kill to be there.
Yeah, maybe the hair growth. I'll keep off the pod, but you know, I think for me, yeah, it's my next step. I got to grow the beard. You know. I can't. This is the best I got.
Have you how much of that Rubicon have you tried to cross?
I just get nothing. I get a stash. I get a little bit of peach fuzz on the neck.
Yeah.
It's not enough where you're like,
well, you know, my son and you are similar of I've told you this before, of similar color.
I get nothing. Cheeks, I get nothing.
All peach fuzz.
You could do a mustache?
I don't want a mustache.
Yo,
here's the thing I want.
Came to media day with a mustache.
There's an old picture of my dad. When he was in college, he rocked a mustache, and me and my brother make fun of him every time we see the picture. And so I won't do it because I know I'm going to look back and be like, oh my God, I had a mustache. Like, what was I doing?
And it's on camera and TV.
All the time. Like, there's no hiding it.
4K.
What if the career year was related? If you knew the mustache got you a career year, you're doing the mustache.
Oh, yeah. But there's also, like, stages of mustache. Like, if you could really grow, like, a fireman's mustache, like a big old thick, kind of hanging over the lip, and you could just totally lean into that, yes. But I also probably can't get that thick of a stash, so it'd just be, like, this weird dirt stash.
Okay, so you drink like a Red Bull, but you know that in there is the ability to all of a sudden you can grow mustaches, and you could do like Raleigh Fingers Curly Q, the big brush mustache, the like French one where it's like the little thin one. Like, what if you could grow any mustache? What style would you grow?
The curl one is it's kind of vibey. I had a friend in the past that had a curly mustache and wore a hat, and it was like, this guy, you feel him when he enters the room.
Yeah, it's an aura.
That's aura, 100%. That's
it's like
aura.
a bow tie, but then like your whole world becomes like you have to dress in plaid.
It's your whole personality. So yeah, that might be a tricky road to go down if that really. But it's also sick.
Right?
It's also aura for sure.
Because you have like the little mustache
wax, and the
wax,
and I think it takes time to pull off. You know, it's not just something you wake up and you do. You're like, I've spent some time on this, and then you get respect from people around you because you've done that.
I think it's like when old friends haven't seen each other in a long time. Like, I feel like we've covered a lot.
We have all the bases.
You won't get this anywhere else.
No, you will not get this at any other station here. And I mean, not just radio. I mean, actual stations. Like, it's not going to happen. So.
Well, we hope you have the best of seasons.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
do.
Yeah,
we are rooting for you.
Yes, for sure.
We miss you. We miss your Musk. We miss your son. When this is done, we should all get an apartment together. You know, that whole deal. Good luck. Stay healthy. Get healthy. Stay healthy. And we'll talk to you during the season, brother.
Thank you, guys.
That's Kevin Herter, everybody.
He's got the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Fall's right around the corner, and there's no better way to experience nature and everything that Northern California has to offer
than in a Jeep. And right now, it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And they've got the deals and selection for you. From sales to service, they're going to prove to you why they deserve your business. Their GM, Chuck Dean, he has this talent of not only getting you the best deal in town, but he also is able to build an inventory that other dealers are jealous of. SacSuperstore.com and located off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is your unsurpassed spot to find the hottest golf gear, best pricing, and elite expertise. Every club on the shelves can be tried for free on the driving range. 3 TrackMan units and a Hagen Oaks team of skilled fitting professionals provide the finest club fitting experience. Our personable Super Shop staff will show you the newest to help you look and play your best. You love golf. The Hagen Oaks team loves golf too. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80. Learn more at hagenoaks.com or 916-481-GOLF.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-837-1919, 800-837-1919, 800-837-1919.
October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock is here to elevate your protection game. Using the same simple password across all your accounts, that's risky. While updating your passwords to be more unique is a good start, true peace of mind comes with LifeLock. LifeLock doesn't just alert you to suspicious activity, but monitors for more uses of your personal info and will fix identity theft issues that arise, guaranteed, or your money back. Secure your identity today with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free, normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes here for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Now that fall is here, now is the perfect time to head to Stockton and check out a new Mercedes-Benz. I had the opportunity just last week to drive an all-new S-Class 550, and let me tell you, it was a sweet ride. The moment I hopped in, I felt like I was in a world of luxury. From the steering wheel to the seat cooling, and even the power of the engine, I was impressed. And then, of course, when I hopped in my Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV, I felt the same thing. So hurry in and take advantage of the Mercedes-Benz incentive bonuses up to $15,000. And they have tons of pre-owned vehicles as well, including C-Class sedans, GLC SUVs, and a whole lot more. Take it from me, you won't be disappointed. So take the short drive down I-5 to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or online at mbofstockton.com.
Do you have old baseball cards and sports memorabilia from the 50s and 60s collecting dust in your closet? They could be very valuable in any condition. Find out at the Sports Cards Roadshow. We'll be in the Sacramento area to evaluate your old and modern sports cards. Visit sportscardsroadshow.com today to schedule your appointment. Ask about your free on-site sports card evaluation. For large vintage and modern collections, we can come to you. Skip the garage sale. Sports Cards Roadshow is buying. Call 1-800-560-3272 today or visit sportscardsroadshow.com.
Happy anniversary, Naturewood.
Since 1948, the Keys family vision lives on at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where you'll always find the very best choices, quality, value, and service.
Everything's on sale now at Naturewood.
Special store-wide savings on all sofas, bedrooms, dining rooms, accent tables, entertainment centers, and more. We invite you to meet our entire Naturewood family, now in our 5th generation.
Tell them Brooklyn Nova and Orion sent you.
Groove dealers.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Great stuff from Kevin Herter. You know, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross are going to talk about everything.
That's what I was thinking.
Mustaches, headbands. Are you dating?
To your non-existent children.
That's
Which
right.
side of the plate are they going to hit on? You know, that is something that you're only going to get from one Carmichael Dave-led show. But, you know, they do what they do. And, you know, they obviously have that previous relationship with Kevin Herter. And I think, you know they it shows. It shows.
It's funny. I literally
thought
Kevin Herter had kids because of that interview.
Yeah.
It was confusing. Yeah, it's weird. It is a very unique situation.
That's what they
Of course,
do.
Jason had to bring up the Yankees too.
Of course, that's what they do. But great stuff from the guys as always. And yeah, another guy, Chris. Yesterday, Nate and I spoke about. We're about to do our giveaway about 5 minutes, so you definitely want to switch over for if you want those Mike Epps tickets. 5 minutes, we're doing our giveaway. Those are the two guys to me, Chris. You have Kevin Herter and Malik Monk. I need to see what this is going to look like. Will they be guys that it takes the most to transition them into this new team?
Right.
You know, I think Malik will have his spots because he'll be the catalyst of that second unit. I just don't know if normally he was getting to be the catalyst of that second unit, and then him and De'Aaron were riding to close the game. I don't know if that will be the case anymore, because with how DeMar DeRozan will be playing offensively, they might opt to go with Keon Ellis to keep the defense at a higher rate to close games. As far as Kevin Herter is concerned, you're starting off with, you know, you're still trying to get healthy. Keon Ellis has the nod right there. If Keon Ellis does well, you're looking at a bench situation. And Chris, this is not how it works, right? If Keon Ellis is playing well as a starter, they're not going to say, oh man, well, Kevin's not shooting well off the bench, so let's put him back in the starting lineup so he can shoot better. Once you're on that bench, it could get a little bit lonely. So I look, after the media day, Coach Mike Brown did say once Kevin get back, it will be more of that open competition, open tryout type of deal, similar to all the high school football that he watches. I just not really sure what Kevin's going to be able to do in that time frame, though.
Especially being like 3 weeks behind schedule at that point. Like Keon will be in that starting spot practicing. Like, you know, I think we said it on Monday or Tuesday. It's like the only way you could really imagine Kevin taking that spot after Keon's held it for throughout camp and throughout the practices throughout the preseason is if Keon's not playing well enough or not meeting expectations, and then you open it up. But it'd be very strange to have Keon perform well during training camp, perform well in the preseason games, and then just say, yeah, Kevin's back. We just want to see what it looks like. I don't really think that the Kings, after especially, you know, the one theme that I think was very clear from the returning players is we don't want to be back in the play-in situation. And a big part of that, Sabonis talked with us about, we have to pay attention to every game. We have to have the same focus and same intentions on every single night.
Right.
You really can't waste, hey, let's try and figure out, hey, Kevin Herter hasn't played, but we really want to, you know, put him in this starting. You can't afford to do that. You can't really afford to play games if you're trying to maximize every single night. And so, yeah, it just feels like Keon's definitely got that inside track. And maybe it's a different conversation if we are talking closing games. You know, if the Kings are down, maybe they do opt to maybe lean more towards Kevin or probably Malik. But in that starting spot, you know, it's just really tough to imagine them going away from Keon unless maybe the discussion is kind of like you pointed out, where else do we where, like, is Kevin ever going to get back in that starter spot? Maybe if he's not a starter, it's tough to kind of visualize what his role is. And maybe that's the only way that I could imagine him kind of getting shoehorned in there.
Yeah. The picture that went viral of Malik Monk, De'Aaron Fox, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, and Domantas Sabonis, that five. How often do you think we will actually see that five specifically together?
Probably, if I had to imagine, that's their closing lineup as currently constructed. So I would imagine just about every night, but I don't think we'll see much of it throughout the night, if that makes sense. I think that'll probably almost definitely be the closing lineup on opening night, and we'll see how they perform. And it might be a night-to-night basis where, like you said, if the Kings are up 6, maybe they opt, hey, Keon Ellis is a stopper. We kind of value stops more than getting points right now. Whereas maybe if they're down 6, it's more of, hey, we could use a little bit of a spark in offense all around the floor. Maybe we opt more for a Malik. But throughout the game, I mean, very rarely, because we know De'Aaron gets subbed out at about the 6-minute mark. And then you'd imagine that's where Jordan McLaughlin will come in. Maybe that's where Malik first will check in. And so obviously De'Aaron's not on the floor. I think it's going to be really, really rare. But I think those moments are really going to shine, and that lineup has to be the Kings lineup of death. If that's not, I mean, it's got to be, it's either that one or the one with Keon in it. They have to have some version of a lineup that is just plus minus head and shoulders above their other ones. And I think they're hoping that's their version of the death lineup.
The pick your poison lineup, if you will. What is it? Your best defender has to pick who they're going to guard, because most teams, even the Timberwolves of the world, right? The Timberwolves, for example, you got McDaniels, you got Anthony Edwards, who competes defensively for sure. And then after that, or even the Pelicans, that still leaves a Malik Monk being the odd man out. If they're going to put one guy on De'Aaron, one guy on DeMar, that still will leave a Malik Monk, and also leaves a Keegan Murray. So that definitely has to be it. All right, time for the ticket giveaway. You know him, you love him. Mike Epps returns to Sacramento for a night of nonstop laughs. And of course, Sacktown Sports wants you in the building. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now, looking for caller number.
We'll do number 6.
Caller number 666. Caller number 6 to score that pair of tickets. Check out Mike Epps at Hard Rock Live on October 12th. Great venue, by the way, out there, courtesy of Live Nation. For more information, visit sacktownsports.com. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. Caller number 6 for that pair of Mike Epps tickets. Yeah, it's interesting, Chris, because I do think that Kevin Huerter, Patrick Beverley called him the X Factor. And it's not the X Factor in that there's different versions of X Factors, right? I think that when you look at a Warriors team who won in 2022 and you didn't really see that coming, I would say that you could either put that X Factor at Jordan Poole or Andrew Wiggins, right? Yeah. It's something that you kind of have counted, but is extra, or I guess something that you didn't count at all. I would say a lot of people would say that from this past year, Derek White has been the X Factor. A lot of people thought that Derek White was a good player, but they didn't think he was this. I mean, there were nights where he was just lighting it up. And I'm thinking the Denver Nuggets, they were more balanced. I don't know if they necessarily had an X Factor per se, or I wouldn't say more balanced than the Celtics, but I'm trying to think of a Denver Nuggets X
like Bruce Brown or something.
Bruce Brown. There's a good one. Bruce Brown. So when you look at Kevin Huerter and the X Factor conversation, I don't really know how he fits in the same way, because an X Factor is somebody that they're going to bring something to the table, but then they exceed those expectations. I think for Kevin Huerter, to your point, who is he going to take opportunities from? I guess other than Keon. That's the only thing I could think of.
I mean, maybe there's a version where he takes some minutes, and it doesn't have to be like a chunk of minutes, but maybe there's a chunk where, hey, we just need a shooter out there, and maybe we feel like Kevin is as good, or if not a better shooter this season than Keegan. Maybe he can eat minutes away from Keegan. Maybe DeMar, as we've talked about, maybe Kevin stealing some minutes at the 3. Maybe that can be a possibility. But I think Kevin can definitely be an X factor in the way of, especially coming off the bench throughout his career as a starter. He's been somewhere near 11 points a game, or And in his great season with the Kings in that first Beam Team season, I think he was at 15. If he can come off the bench and still be double figures, I think that's an X factor for sure. I mean, I don't think a lot of people should expect Kevin Huerter coming off the bench to be I'm expecting like 8 to 9 points per game. I mean, especially with his minutes also going down and the opportunity, the fact that he's not really, like you said, with Malik out there, it's very rare that Kevin's probably going to be the focal point of an offense. I just kind of feel like he can exceed expectations by being 40% from the field, by still being a double-digit scorer, and maybe being the 7th king in the roster to average double figures. I think that's maybe how Kevin could exceed expectations from where people have him right now.
All right, we have the ESPN Kings win projections, and a little bit surprising here, Chris. We've been going back and forth about just MGM and all the different betting sites and how most of them have the Kings at 46.5. We've seen, Nate said, we've seen a couple crawling up to 47.
Caesars, for sure.
Caesars was at 47.5, which I would still do it. But if you can find 46.5, take 46. But you have, Chris, the Western Conference and ESPN really making Kings fans feel good with this one.
Yeah, so they have the projections. I think they used ESPN's some version of their win models that they have with some of their programs. And Kevin Pelton also had some influence on the decisions of how many wins. And in the Eastern Conference, they have Celtics as the 1 seed, Cavs as the 2 seed, Bucks as the 3 seed, Pacers as the 4 seed, and the New York Knicks, and this is an updated list, having the New York Knicks as the 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. They project the Celtics to win 52 games and the Cavs to win 50. All the other ones are 46 and below. And in the Western Conference, it's a bit of a similar story. You have the Thunder as the projected 1 seed. You have the Grizzlies as the projected 2 seed. Both of those two teams, they have projected as over 50 wins. They have the Dallas Mavericks sitting at number 3 at a projected 49.7 wins. And they have the Denver Nuggets sitting at number 5. Yes, that's right. Mavericks at number 3, Nuggets at number 5 at 47.4. Which makes you ask, well, then who's at number 4? And the answer, ladies and gentlemen, is your Sacramento Kings are projected in this ESPN win projection, 49.4 wins. Kevin Pelton of ESPN writes, after averaging 47 wins over the past 2 seasons, the Kings have their most talented roster yet. After moving for Harrison Barnes for DeMar DeRozan in the sign-in trade, the question is whether these players will fit as well on the court, given DeRozan, like De'Aaron Fox and six-man Malik Monk, is best with the ball in his hands. I remain skeptical the Kings will finish quite this high in the West. But yet the projections, the math, the computers, they say the Kings are going to do really well. 49.4 wins, just under the Dallas Mavericks, 49.7, and putting the Kings 4th in the Western Conference. And I think that surprises a lot of people, especially considering that this is from the 4-letter network. So there you go. They have the Kings as the 4th best team in the Western Conference. And I do kind of agree that more so with the win total, I think they could be the 3 seed. If 49-50 wins gets it done, I've been saying it for a couple months now. I think this Kings team is easily a 50-win team.
Yeah, and look, this is what makes sense to us. Literally, they've been averaging 47 wins with Harrison Barnes. And last season, you didn't have Malik Monk.
Nope.
You didn't have Kevin Huerter the last 10, 15 games.
Nope.
This is obvious. It's so obvious to me.
It makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. And I think that people are overrating I think it's interesting. If you're the Timberwolves, I'd be a little bit upset that you fall out of that. But I do think that's what's going to happen. It just makes tons of sense. And you can even argue, and I would, Grizzlies at 51 wins. I think that's crazy to assume that the Grizzlies are going to jump from where they were last year all the way back up to the 2nd best team in the Western Conference with as deep as it is. And I feel like people forget that the Grizzlies have definitely lost a good handful of the players that were there that year that they did finish the 2 seed. I think that it's the West is the Thunder at number 1, and I really do think the rest is completely open. It wouldn't surprise me if the Kings finish as the 2 seed. I really don't think that's insane to say that the Kings could finish better than the Mavericks, that they could finish better than the Grizzlies, they can finish better than Timberwolves and the Nuggets. I think this roster is really, really good, and I think the fact that we talk about Kevin Huerter as an X factor, maybe the 7th guy, the 7th best player on this team, not a lot of teams have that luxury. And we're not mentioning Trey Lyles. We're not mentioning Alex Len, who you look at some of the advanced numbers and is one of the best backup centers in the NBA. I just think that people are just very, very much underrating the Kings. And I think it is just simply because they are the Sacramento Kings.
Well, and that's why sometimes the computers and the numbers, you just punch it in and you get a non-biased opinion.
Yep.
Right. It's not, you're not thinking about, the computers aren't thinking about Sacramento as a city. They're not thinking about the past of Sacramento. They're not thinking about what happened against the Warriors. They're not thinking about any of that. They're just saying, based on what we're seeing, this is what it looks like to me. And if anything, it just tells you that it's wide open. And I can't even do it now, Chris, but 4 or 5 against the Nuggets. And I've been talking a lot of trash about the Nuggets, but I don't think I love that smoke.
Yeah. I don't love it, but I think they do. They definitely have a chance. I mean, we've seen Sabonis and Jokic pretty much cancel each other out in a lot of their matchups. I think, Jamal Murray,
he's getting locked down.
Kind of give De'Aaron the edge in that matchup, and that puts a lot on Keegan Murray versus Aaron Gordon. And wouldn't that be fun? How annoyed would you be of the conversations of we already get annoyed of the Kings are trying to do this Nuggets model.
Yeah.
If you get a head-to-head Kings versus Nuggets model, this is the new version of what they tried to do and their spin on it. I think that would probably get talked to exhaustion. But the Nuggets would probably be the last. That would almost be like playing the Warriors again in the play-in, where it's just like, why are we getting the team, the only Western Conference team here that has some championship experience?
Right.
Why does that have to be the team that we end up playing?
Looking at the list though, I don't know if I would mind it. I'm not high on the Nuggets.
No,
but, I wouldn't.
It's the West. Anyone's going to be tough. Anyone's going to be tough.
Playoffs.
You play anybody. I don't want to play Luka either in the first round. So
I'm not that high on MPJ. I think he's a one-trick pony, and I'm not that high on Jamal Murray. And by that time, Devin Carter would be back.
He would.
So you getting locked up. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you that much. Right? Jokic, you can't score 70, and even if you did, it would not be enough. I'm gonna tell you that much right now. All right. Coming up next, we have renderings. And yes, this is a radio show, but we're going to talk about the renderings that broke yesterday, if you will, for the Sac State new football stadium, how good they look. We have the Chris Haynes information on Sac State and the basketball situation with Golden One, and Sean Cunningham gives us a little bit more insight as to how many games would be played at Golden One for the Sac State Hornets, thanks to the ownership group with the Kings and Golden One. Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Tired of ads interrupting your favorite news podcasts? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Stay up to date on everything newsworthy with podcasts like The Daily, Up First, and 5 Things Uninterrupted at amazon.com/ad-free. Just head to amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Febreze. So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
She used to meet me on the east side.
Khalid, live in concert. See him performing at the venue at Thunder Valley, Saturday, October 5th. Get tickets now at ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss the sensational Khalid for one night only at the venue at Thunder Valley, Saturday, October 5th. For more, visit KhalidOfficial.com.
When shopping for a new car, what do you want? A great selection? A low monthly payment? More for your trade? At Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, you get it all.
Model year-end savings are going on now. It's savings you just can't say no to.
Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's Old One Report.
Shop fall savings at Big O Tires now through October 13th and buy 3, get 1 free on 4 select in-stock tires with installation and alignment purchase on all 4 tires. Offer good on most Saloon tires while supplies last. Disposal fees extra, not good with other offers. See participating Big O Tire dealer for details.
Sacktown Sports. Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Congrats to our winner of the Mike Epps tickets. Nate, we got a name?
We got a name and a location somewhere. Maybe, I don't know if I've had a winner for Grass Valley. Mitch in Grass Valley. Longtime listener. He's traveled around the world. He told me lived everywhere, and he's always been a Kings fan. So he'll be there opening night.
Wow.
He was really excited. Loves us.
Great
job. Great job, Nate.
Mitch.
Great. And great job, Mitch. Yeah, timing that up. So good.
Yeah.
Good for you. 916. Nick says, Alan, where do the Warriors fall in the playoff predictions?
Why is he asking you?
Whitey was having some fun in crosstalk yesterday talking about my Warriors. We actually
the
have
sack is lit.
We have some Warriors news that is going to be during our Around the NBA segment. The Warriors projected starting lineup. So
they finished 7th for what it's worth, which is absolutely insane.
There's no who. So can I guess? So you have the Kings at 4.
Yep.
Nuggets at 5.
Correct.
They put the Suns at 6.
They sure did.
They put the Warriors at 7.
Sure did.
Would they put the Pelicans at 8?
Wolves.
Oh my gosh!
Where are the Lakers?
We talk about bad PR. People, and we have some. We have in our top stories at the top of the hour. We have a story from Julius Randle's wife, but people hate. I mean, those are 2 guys that just have terrible PR, and Karl Anthony Towns and Julius Randle. That's crazy. They both dropped. They both got worse.
Yeah, pretty surprising to see them fall that fall.
I don't. Now I'm questioning the computer now.
Let's see here. This is the write-up. It says, although the Friday's trade slightly bumped up their projections, the Timberwolves rating barely than a 500 team on average a year after finishing second in the West with 56 wins, albeit also 2 years after going 42-40 in Rudy Gobert's first season. So I guess their argument is just last year is the anomaly.
Okay.
That
so
last year is their
anyway.
B-team season.
Yeah.
Yes. Is that last year, essentially everything went well for them, and they essentially have them reverting back to what they were in the first year of the Rudy Gobert trade, which was 1 game above 500. For what it's worth, Kings fans, Pelicans, number 9.
Stay away.
And the Lakers finished 10th. Clippers, 12th. So there you
go.
Where
are the Rockets?
Rockets are 11th, right in between. They have
What
the
are they
Rockets
doing?
at 40.4 wins projected, Lakers at 40.7.
What are the Rockets doing?
They're building. They went from like absolutely the worst team in the NBA 2 years ago to at least now they have Ime. They have, they signed Fred VanVleet. They signed Dylan. Like they're respectable. They have Steven Adams now who's going to play for them this year. At the very least, they're not a laughing stock. Şengün as well. Jabari Smith Jr. They're building for sure.
I just felt like they tried to accelerate things, and I would have expected them to make another deal, but maybe they will.
Yeah, they definitely could. I know that they were very much in on the James Harden stuff, and Harden just didn't really want to have any of those talks. So, I think that they're definitely in prime position too. If any of these stars become available, like why wouldn't they hop on there?
All right,
They've got young assets too.
Let's hop on this. CBS Sacramento dropped its renderings yesterday, or excuse me, they got a hold of the renderings, and Jake Gaden dropped them on social media, and it blew up, Chris. I mean, great job to Jake for tracking this down and really just blowing this thing up. I mean, Chris, and you got fireworks. Renderings do crack me up, and I got to be really careful here, but renderings they always crack me up because it's just the best day ever, right? You look, it's a perfect sunset. You got fireworks, the color scheme with it. I don't know, is that green smoke going on in the other rendering? They look phenomenal, Chris, but they have to. So actually, during the crossover between the morning show leaving and us getting ready to do our thing, we started talking about the Golden One renderings, and Chris Verlade found the Golden One renderings. They looked fairly similar. There were some things that thought, okay, it doesn't look exactly like that. But with that being said, Chris, how do you feel about the Sac State renderings?
It's actually unreal. I almost can't picture this being in Sacramento just because it's not something that I've ever really conceptualized, especially not from Sac State. Like, I think, when we saw the Sac Republic renderings at first, kind of had a bit of the same feeling that I just can't believe that there's going to be this stadium, right? Like this, I mean, I kind of associate stadiums more so with football, but like, just to have a plot of land like that in Sacramento is just not something I ever envisioned. And I think it really does just in general speak to this boom that the city's had the last 10 years or so. I mean, with DOCO and the whole downtown transformation that's been made to where now Sacramento downtown is absolutely, you don't have to, my dad always talks about when, back in their day, they would have to go up to the Bay and go up to the San Francisco clubs just to kind of feel like
city nights.
You were getting city nights. Exactly. No, feel like you were having a time. And now you don't have to leave Sacramento. You got Tiger, you got K Street, you got L Street, you got 16th. You got so many different areas in which you can go around. And I'm kind of diverting a little bit just to say that looking at this, it really makes you feel like Sacramento is really making their mark. And I know a lot has been made, especially with this Sac 12 movement about, Sacramento is legitimately like a big market in everything. And I think that's the one thing that has just been, I don't know, I've been thinking about it a lot. And I think it's kind of a little bit of little brother syndrome that's just been beaten into Sacramento for so long that we forget we're in California. We're small for California.
That's right.
But we're a lot bigger than the Boise states out there.
That's what I'm trying to say.
It's just crazy. And I think that it's because, again, we're in California. It's like LA is our big brother. I almost view like LA and San Francisco are like Derek from Step Brothers, where they're just, hey, what's up, idiots? Like, how you doing? And, we've got some cousins, Fresno's maybe a cousin of ours. San Diego's like an older cousin that was nice to us growing up.
Yeah.
But we've just been beaten down by LA and San Francisco to think, you guys, Sacramento, that little small market, you mean the place that's close to everything else?
Right.
And I just think that this is kind of a good symbolic just movement for the city to kind of be like, we can carve out our own path. And yes, we might be small for California and we can still own that, but let's not act like we are small potatoes, like we are the cow town that Phil Jackson described us as. We got our own stuff going on. And let me tell you, I'm not really a world traveler, but I'm sure you've been much more places than I have. When you go places, there's a lot of cachet to just saying, I'm from California.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's the thing that Sacramento really does need to start and continue to boast is, we're small, but we're still California. And you're crazy if you pick North Dakota State over us. If you pick whatever, even to an extent, Boise. Like Sacramento is a much bigger state than Boise. I've been to Boise. It's pretty much like Reno.
Yeah, Boise, right, because it's Idaho.
It's a little bit of a bigger Reno.
Yeah, Boise is Idaho is really, obviously it's California over Idaho from a large standpoint. Yeah. Boise would be the only one.
Right.
If you are a player who's trying to pick, let's assume the Sac 12 works and they get into the Pac 12 and you're boiling down who it's going to be. I'm looking at UNLV, San Diego State,
Utah
Boise State and Sac State. Yeah. And then they're right there. They're right there in the tier. As you were talking, Chris, I was thinking about California cities based on like looks. Okay. So like to me, or just people in general. So San Diego State, great jawline, right? Maybe doesn't necessarily, obviously LA, they have the whole package. Take this one. Look, LA has the whole package, okay? But San Diego State has the great jawline. Maybe they could be making more money, but they just decide to live a pretty chill life. And then you have San Francisco, who they're just kind of annoying, right? They're the annoying guy. They're going to talk to you about the stocks and things like that. And you just have Sacramento, who this guy is he does well for himself. He's a hard worker. You know what I mean? And he could date my daughter. That's what Sacramento is to me. I'm just saying, that's what Sacramento is to me. And it didn't stop there yesterday, Chris. And even before the renderings came out, this was a huge day.
Massive.
For Sac State. Chris Haynes announced the Sacramento Kings have offered to host Sac State University men's and women's basketball conference home games at Golden One Center pending arena availability as part of the school's effort to join the Pac-12 conference or other FBS conferences. And Chris Haynes goes on to say this is a major hurdle cleared by Sac State. They have a new football stadium in the works, a huge NIL commitment of over $35 million. And thanks to the Sacramento Kings, now have a world-class basketball facility to warrant admittance into an FBS conference. So to me, this is all planned, right? Jake Gayden, whoever he was working with Sac State, they knew once this Chris Haynes thing came out and he's talking about the football stadium, hey, drop the renderings. So I do think they've been very planned in everything that they've been doing. Sean Cunningham goes on to say, according to sources, Golden One Center and Sac State would work together to identify mutually agreeable dates to host up to 20 games during the 2025-2026 college basketball season, subject to negotiating terms. So this is going to happen immediately. I mean, this is going to not this season, but next season. This is going to happen quickly, Chris. This is all just escalating, as you talked about. Step Brothers. We go to San Diego here. This is all, wow, that escalated very quickly here with Ron Burgundy.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely nuts. I mean, I think it's a huge hurdle, more so in the financial standpoint of now they don't have to worry about building a football stadium and a basketball arena in a concentrated amount of time. I'm sure the basketball arena is going to be at some point what's going to be next on the agenda, but getting the football stadium it has to be number one priority. And I think if Golden One Center can kind of be your temporary home and temporary might be 10, 15 years, but while you figure out the logistics of getting that new basketball arena, I think they were talking for a little bit about playing at the Well as well for a little bit. So, I think it's a really, really big help in just trying to make it all work. I mean, everything's there. I think I heard Jason talk about the broadcasting angle of this as well, where it's just everything is already there and you don't have to worry about any of the logistics. And of course it's good for Golden One Center because that's more revenue for them. So it all seems to, everyone seems to be scratching each other's back in this thing. And that's how it should work, man. Sacramento needs to help each other out in order to make this all work out, because it's only going to improve everything else that goes around it.
Coming up next, we hear from one Devin Carter and his interview with the morning show. Great stuff from Devin Carter. And that comes right up to you right now, right after the break. And we have an exclusive Stiles Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sacktown Sports at SacktownSports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker. I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Insurance companies perform a very valuable service, but they want to keep their money. Although most cases settle before trial, it is paramount that the insurance companies know that if pressed, your legal team has the experience to take your case all the way. For 25 years, Ashton and Price has earned the reputation that if the insurance company isn't fair, we're ready to force them to be fair. My mom used to warn me, wait till dad gets home. Think of us as dad. The best part, there's no fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM. Or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
This report is brought to you by Macy's. Don't miss Macy's VIP sale. Use your coupon or Macy's card and take an extra 30% off the latest fall trends and save 15% off skincare, makeup, and more. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply. Now at Macy's.
With Wendy's, breakfast burrito is everything you want for breakfast. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, bacon or sausage, all rolled up into one warm tortilla. Want the boss of breakfast burritos? Gotta be Wendy's at participating U.S. Wendy's.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by the league.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports.
Media Day for the
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
As promised, here is the one, the only challenger for Malik Monk, GQ, best dressed. Devin Carter, on with the drive, guys. Here it is.
first media day for the rookie, Devin Carter. What's media day like for you? Is it good? Is it fun?
Yeah, I just got started. So, I mean, this is like my third station.
What have you done so far?
The NBA portraits, and then just those two behind me.
Oh, gotcha.
That'd be cool if it was actually portraits where they paint you like in the 1700s. So what's to say here about Friar fans? Are they loud, soft, this, that? You're pretty vocal. That's a group, man.
Nah, they're the best fans in the country, in my opinion. Like, they up there. Like, the Kansases and what other colleges they got good fans. They're up there, well, in my opinion,
So I don't know how much you've heard or you knew already being an NBA fan about Sacramento and the way they are with their players, but it sounds like you're going from an insane fan base to an insane fan base.
Yeah. No, I've definitely heard a lot. I mean, I was here 2016. I used to live here, so, I kind of got a little bit of experience, but it's definitely ramped up a lot more over the years as the team has just progressively gotten better and better. So, I'm definitely excited to, play in front of the fans and just show them, why I'm here.
So what's the strangest, oddest story you can tell us about Friar fans? I mean, are they following you? Like, what's going on? What are they doing? What makes them so crazy?
It's just like on Twitter, it's like they just troll people. Like,
yes, they do.
They just have like a bunch of like fake accounts that they'll just go on there and troll people. But I'm here for it, and I know I'm Friar community, so I'm gonna support them. Like, as long as it's like nothing crazy, but like, I'm always gonna support Friars. So shout out to PCBC.
So with the family connection, obviously, here, and you just mentioned you were here about what God would be 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your dad was here as assistant.
Yeah.
I know you weren't here for the longest time, but was there anything you remembered? Place to eat, something.
We used to go to Benihana's, but it's closed now. Yeah, I was looking for it when I came out here, but it was like they're like, nah, it's closed now. So I was like, dang. But I went to Creekview Middle School.
Okay,
and then I played all my games at Harwood Palace. So I was always over there. Yeah, I was always over there. YBA.
Gus Armstead's place goes way back. Now they got some games over there, man. Like you being drafted, coming here. I wouldn't say, I don't want to go as far as say it's a return home, but at the same time, having some familiarity with the fans, having familiarity with the city a little bit, it's probably a little bit easier on a rookie than, if you were going to wherever the hell.
Yeah. Especially like Coach Doug Christie, Miguel, the equipment manager. They all remember me from when I was here the first time. So, kind of just felt like I belonged here. So it was definitely a perfect fit for me.
Well, how are you? How are you feeling? How's the health? How's the recovery?
I'm feeling great. Yeah, I'm feeling great. For sure. Yeah.
Well, let me just ask you before we've been doing this a long time. I get it. Before we start talking about how you're feeling, I know Jason just asked, do you want to talk about how you're feeling? Because we know some athletes don't.
No, I'm cool.
Okay, so take us through everything, if you would, or as best you can, the injury, how it came about, and then let me just start with that. How did everything go down where you got hurt?
Where?
Yeah, like what was the whole deal with when you realized what was going on?
I didn't know it was torn.
Okay.
So I obviously had to do like the pre-draft imaging and everything, and I was just told it was torn. So I'm assuming it was torn like throughout the season.
And you played with that.
Yeah.
So when you hear that, is there, I don't want to say fear, but like when you first heard tear, is there a little, I don't know, butterfly, or that's got to be kind of freaky, right?
Not really, because I didn't feel it.
Okay.
If I felt it like bad, then like I kind of felt like a little like pinch, but it's like I'm thinking like, I'm just sore from lifting weights or like playing the Big East, just physical every night. So I'm just like pushing it to the side, like not expecting anything out of it. I'll put my icy hot on and Advil and I'll be cool. Right. So it's just like just going with the flow, basically, was what I was doing.
Yeah. So was there a thought that you might play with it? Because you already had played with it, or was it like, hey, look, let's clean this up?
Honestly, I'm just a tough individual, I'd like to say, so I would have been happy to play with with it like that, because I didn't feel it throughout the season. So I think it was a smart decision though, because it could only get worse. So if we fix it now, come when I'm back, I'll be good 100%.
So I think, apologies if I'm wrong here, I think the statement said you'll be reevaluated in February, I think. Was that it?
No, I'm not too sure when I'll be reevaluated.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's just what they said as a placement, but you're going to miss a good chunk of time. So it's kind of like you're not redshirting like in college.
Right.
But like, are you going into this now like treating it kind of like a little mini red shirt where it's like, all right, I'm a crash course in the NBA. I may not be able to be on the floor, but I got to soak it all up.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at it as just an opportunity to learn, especially as a rookie coming in. We got vets, DeMar, Fox, we got Sabonis, so just trying to learn as much as I can from them as fast as I can, so by the time I'm back, I'm 100% ready. So
gotcha.
Do what I got to do. So
you're pretty NBA savvy already with obviously being around the league, your dad connected to for so long, but is there been a vet here that's kind of taking you under his wing? Or is that coming?
I feel like that's kind of coming because not everybody's been at the arena, we haven't really had like mandatory workouts for real outside of the rookies. So, that is definitely going to happen. I'll probably say if anybody right now is Malik, just talking to him, and then off the court he's cool. So
we heard the comps on you and the analysis at the draft. But I always find it's best to get the analysis and comps from the actual individual. You're coming onto a team that's got, whether it's D-Fox and Monk, guys like Keon Ellis, defensive studs. What do you bring into this team? What is your calling card?
I think that I do a little bit of both, a lot of bit of both. I say, I'm just a person who's always going to make the winning plays. get the winning stops. You want to guard the other team's best player, pick them up full court, turn them, take some of the pressure off of Fox and, DeMar so they don't have to guard the best player, even though Foxy likes that challenge, but I could definitely help him out a little bit in that area. And then even on the offensive end, I mean, my shooting's improved so much. I can space the floor. I'm a great driver, I feel like, and especially rebounding. I'm going to crash the glass and then, get us in our offense, or if I'm on the ball, off the ball, get us in our offense, get people the shots that they need to get their shots from, and also be able to be a attack threat. So.
Is there someone you grew up watching that now that you're in the league, you can't wait to be on the court, either guarding, playing against, playing with? I mean, kind of an NBA moment like that?
No, I mean, I'm just ready to guard and play, compete. That's just who I am. I'm not really a fanboy, especially because my dad played for so long. I was always around, so I never really got like the starstruck type of feel from the game. So,
final play of the game, 10 seconds left, clock's winding down. Are you nailing the three-point shot to win the game, or in your dream, are you shutting down the other team's star player with a quick pick steal and winning the game that way? Which way do you prefer?
I'd rather get a stop, honestly. I just feel like that's this just solidifies, in the clutch, you're the person to go to and guard them. So I mean,
that's interesting because I think a lot of people would take. In fact, most people would take the last second shot.
Yeah, but coaches want that stop.
That's right.
Yeah,
got to get you on the floor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, especially when you want to play as a rookie. If you guard, you're gonna be able to, make it hard for the coach to not play you. So
right. Well, welcome to Sacramento.
Yeah,
hopefully you're back sooner rather than later, but got a feeling with the pedigree, with your dad and everything, you're going to be soaking all that up IQ-wise, and I hope you get to I hope at one point we'll be sitting here on media day and you'll be like, man, those Friar fans are really good, but I just, it was
fans,
either way, there's room for both, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Always.
Right. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Yep.
And the Drive Guys, live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/SactownSports.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Have you heard you can listen to your favorite news podcast ad-free? Good news! With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. Enjoy shows like The Daily, Up First, and Consider This, available ad-free on Amazon Music. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free. That's amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
Live and local. Live and local. This is Sacktown Sports.
Great stuff from Devin Carter. And great stuff from the morning show, Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross. Chris, I didn't know he spent time in Sacramento.
Yep. His dad was an assistant coach with George Karl, and I believe it was in his either late elementary or I think it was late elementary school for him was here in Sacramento. He mentioned the Hardwood Palace, and yeah, that place is definitely like that's where everybody who played basketball in Sacramento knows that Hardwood Palace, and that's the place to be.
Now where the Hoopers hoop.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, there's some like you said, that's where you kind of get your your AAU circuit, essentially. Those a lot of the bigger tournaments and stuff are held can be held there.
It's weird because it's not that I don't feel like we're talking about Devin Carter enough. It's just I don't want to talk about him too much when we don't know what we're gonna get.
Yeah, and even that was an interesting little moment that they had there where Dave's like, "Hey, you're not gonna be back until January, February," and Devin's like, "I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that." Kind of had a weird moment where he's like, "Oh," and then Dave's like, "Oh, well, that's just what the team put out," and he's like, "Yeah, I just don't want to." So I thought that was kind of
mean he's.
It can mean either. It can mean
Yeah.
either. I mean, it can either mean hey, like, I'm not planning to play at all this season and we just don't want to come out with it, which I'm not reading it as. Maybe it's more just I don't have any definite date on it, but it could be earlier, it could be later. I've talked with a couple people in the Kings organization and they have said essentially that shoulders are very straightforward. So I would imagine whatever they put the timeline at is what they feel like the timeline will be.
And I don't really know what's going on lately with these kids. And now I'm going to sound
these
this isn't
kids these days.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah.
But what is going on with these labrums these days? Is there's I feel like there's a labrum issue. I mean, Reggie Crawford for the Giants, who's one of the top prospects, he ended up getting labrum surgery. He might miss all of next season. And in basketball, I do think it feels like it's happening more often. I don't know what's going on, Chris, but to that point, when injuries do seem like they are more common, it's easier to have Ja Morant as well. It does seem like it's easier to have a gauge on what these things are going to look like. So I can't wait to watch Devin Carter play. I know I'll be the first one. And I would have, if we didn't get the interview with him, but it was surprising when they went in that direction. But Monty McNair has talked about that. That's who was on our big board. That's who we had, regardless of position. So we didn't want to miss out on him. They didn't miss out on him. He is the Sacramento King, and they're not really they were aware of the shoulder thing. They didn't know. They're trying to gauge how long he'd be available, but they think he's a guy who can help not just for this season, but for seasons to come. So they were okay with it.
Yeah. Random sidetrack. How long do you think he keeps his hair? Devin, that is.
Well,
because we saw De'Aaron. Everyone thought De'Aaron was going to keep the Super Saiyan look for a while, and
some people say he should have.
Yeah, I think
he
so.
Should have.
I think it'd be a cool look for him, but. I just think, you can only rock the Corbin blue for so, Jalen Green, I will give Jalen Green his credit. He's kept that hair pretty long.
Now I'm thinking about all the guys in the league with I don't know, these young dudes, they keep the long hair, man.
It's definitely a new wave.
Now his hair is not what we typically
maybe he'll
see.
braid it at some point, or maybe he'll go for more of the locks look or something. He's got a lot of real estate to work with.
He's got a lot of
he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah,
he might sideshow bob it,
the world is his oyster for sure. Yeah, I think he's gonna keep it over under 2.5 years.
That's probably a good number.
I take the over.
Yeah, that's probably a good number because especially hair like that, he's got some good.
Trey Lance came home.
Yeah, Trey Lance had to come home because that's the other thing too. It's not really like it's a Trey Young situation.
Well, I would say
like,
Trey Young hasn't come home.
He hasn't. No, he hasn't. He has not yet. And I think that would probably Trey Young would actually look like a baby.
If he gets traded, he'll probably come home.
You got to give yourself a new look.
Yes.
Hey, new
that's
year,
what happened
new
to Trey Lance.
Exactly.
He said, "I want to look like Dak Prescott." He was a Dak Prescott clone, and he started throwing picks like Dak. And we never heard about him again. Yeah,
I can see it. I mean, I think we were having a conversation about his hair.
Derek White came home, and they won a championship.
Derek White came home. He needed to come home. I think the biggest difference is Devin doesn't need to come home.
Yeah,
not yet. But again, De'Aaron didn't need to.
De'Aaron didn't need to.
I think, but that's also.
I feel like I'm
De'Aaron's
missing some obvious
I feel like
ones
De'Aaron's
here.
it brings too much attention to me.
I feel like I'm missing some obvious ones here, and it's upsetting me.
I mean, with hair like that, you can't. I mean, I used to get it all the time when I let my curls grow. People always, "Oh man, you can't cut your hair. What are you talking? You got that good hair, man. You can't let it go." And I'm just like,
remember Alfred?
Hate it.
Oh, you know who else came home? Lonnie Walker.
Lonnie Walker came home. Yeah, he had the crazy hair.
That didn't necessarily help, but he. Oh, you know who else? Different version of a coming home, but Tyler Hero came home. Tyler Hero went buzz cut.
I'm trying to think what his hair was before.
Well, he just had the kind of the taper deal.
Normal swoop over.
Yeah, the swoop over, the Gordon Hayward.
Okay. Yes, that's what I.
And now he has essentially a buzz cut.
Okay. Yeah. I think he'll definitely keep it for the time being, but I think there's going to be a point where he's like, just kind of needed something new. And they always show up. It's going to be on media day. It's always going to be on media days. The first day you're going to see it. And it's going to be crazy. But yeah, I don't know what made me have that thought. Maybe it was Jimmy Butler.
Oh, you know who else?
His style change.
We literally had him on the show. Mason Jones.
Oh, yeah, Mason Jones. Yeah, he went from a little
and his waves were...
His waves are crispy.
No, they were dipping. They were dipping.
Yeah. He said, I'm doing a full body transformation today from head to toe.
916 on the text line. Let's get an update on Sac State. Besides the update from yesterday, you just missed our Sac State segment, 916. You can check that out on the Sacktown Sports app, or you could rewind on YouTube. But essentially, Chris Haynes announced that Golden One is going to work, and the Kings are going to work with Sac State to play conference games in Golden One. It'll be up to 20. Yep. That's what Sean Cunningham released. And then obviously they had the renderings for the football stadium. Yeah. But I think that's pretty, I mean, there was a big day yesterday, but nothing new after what came out yesterday.
Yeah, nothing new. I do have some questions about those, I heard Verlad and Jason talking this morning about maybe some of the other things that stadium can be used for, like will Sac Republic maybe look to be a tenant in that stadium? They were talking about rugby this morning. I wonder if the track and field, because they used to have I don't think the Olympic qualifiers, but they used to have a really big race at Sac State. I can't remember what it was for. I know it was a national, a national event that they would have at Sac State. I wonder if that's in the consideration. I know a lot of people have asked if they're still going to have the track around the current football field. I don't know if anybody has or I haven't necessarily heard a definite answer on something like that. I'm sure, some of the smaller logistics like that maybe are still being worked out, but I do kind of wonder from the other, where of course it's the main money getter. So I think a lot of the focus is on basketball and football, but where is Sac State? If Sac State is going to continue or is going to play their games at Golden One Center, does that mean, for example, the men and women's volleyball team, are they still going to play at the Nest? What or do they have?
Which would still need an update.
Still, that's the thing, is it still definitely needs an update. Capacity wise, it might be fine for an event like that, but quality, you're just not going to bring in. You're still trying to be a Pac-12 school, and that kind of needs to not just be for your two biggest sports. It needs to be all across the board. I mean, I haven't been to many Sac State baseball games. I've seen the field right next to the parking lot. I don't know if that's necessarily Pac-12 standard. It looks really nice. Is the soccer team going to play at the new stadium as well? I think that there's just a lot of minor logistics that, of course they don't need to have all the answers right here, right now, but I just think there's still a lot of questions as to maybe some of the other cogs in the machine that still need to be worked out. But again, I just can't express enough how impressed I am with the speed at which this is happening and really just the level of detail. Like I think they knew the questions that would be asked immediately. It was kind of almost laughable, honestly, to think that Sac State could have put themselves in a position to be in the Pac-12, and they've made it so real that at this point, I mean, with all the ducks that they have in line, I would almost be surprised if it doesn't happen. Like, it feels like we're at the point now where, of course we'll still take the Mountain West, but I think the Mountain West is almost going to be disappointing for a lot of people. And that, again, I think is more just a compliment to how impressive this entire rollout has been, that they've just answered just about every question you can have. And at every turn, it's just been, that and more. The $35 million in NIL is absolutely insane. I just, again, can't express enough how impressed I am with how Sac State has handled their business through this. And I'm again gonna try and push or wonder, where's UC Davis in all this? Because I do think Davis really does, not necessarily for the Pac-12, but I do think that they are capable of protecting. Now, financially, maybe they can't get the same amount of boosters that Sac State can get from their athletic program, but I think UC Davis is just as qualified, especially in terms of the facilities. I think they can definitely put some bid, even if it's not Pac-12. I'm surprised that we're not hearing maybe them pushing for Mountain West.
Well, I think maybe part of this is you got to be careful about how things look. Because I will say this, it always looks weird to me when something happens and you always see one TV network come out with something like FX does the Aaron Hernandez thing, and then all of a sudden there's a documentary, and it just feels thrown together like, oh, Aaron Hernandez is hot right now. Let's put together a documentary, or let's do something. And there was the one that came out about OxyContin, and that was, I think, 2 years ago. And there was Dope Sick on Hulu.
Sure.
And then there was a Netflix show about it.
Okay.
And then there was this, then there was that. And it starts to not feel like you took as much time. You're just trying to hop on a wave. So maybe UC Davis is just saying, we're going to give Sac State their time. And we have I would assume that
you get past, though. That's how you get past in the line.
I would assume that they have some sort of plan. I would just assume that they have some sort of plan. They're just waiting it out. By the way, some of the names here, Chris.
Nate, you better start throwing your booster money out.
Well, I've got the booster money. Hassan Minaj. Yeah. Okay.
Come on.
JTO Sullivan.
Yeah. Listen. London Breed. Mark Davis. Okay. Davis.
Scott Marsh.
Some interesting names.
Scott Marsh. All right.
Come on. Might as well name it the Scott Marsh Stadium.
I'm just after that.
The Marsh.
Jason Ross.
Yeah, Jay Ross.
Jason.
Don't let Jason Ross confuse
Yeah, I
you.
know. He's a traitor.
Alum. Don't let him fool you.
Yeah.
The doctor from Concussion teaches there.
Come on.
Will Smith. That's basically Will Smith.
Kind of Will Smith.
Will Smith adjacent.
Yes.
Joe.
He's talked.
You can get him now while he's down. Will Smith. You know, he's trying to make a comeback after the slap.
Daniel Descalso.
Oh, me and Descalso got into it
St.
back
Louis
in the day.
Cardinal. All right. I'm looking here.
All right.
Okay.
Ty Kelly.
Sure. Yeah.
Played for the Mets and the Phillies.
Me.
Nate.
Yeah.
Some people I knew. My friend Yushwan.
Throw the money around. Steven Robinson.
I think we get it.
Looks like he's an astronaut. Okay.
Well, this school has a lot of money. It's basically half the town of Davis. Like, you can't get through Davis without working around the school. It's very difficult.
There you go. All right. Coming up next.
I just want to make sure they're not forgotten.
You should put that helmet on right there.
Yeah, exactly.
No. Chris put it on.
Yeah,
Chris
I'm
put it
fighting
on.
for him.
He's the one fighting.
Come on.
Aggie up. All right.
My
Coming up.
dad's a UC Davis alum.
Spirit. Oh, really?
That's because, there you go.
That's why I like it.
So where does your loyalty lie? UC
I don't really
Davis.
have one. Yeah.
Come on, Mark.
I mean, I used to root for Davis growing up because Sac State was a terrible football program. They really were.
We go to the Causeway.
We
have a booth.
I'm all Sac.
I will
Marsh
be at
is there.
The Causeway is going to be awesome.
It's going to be insane.
It's going to be so awesome.
The score is 33-33.
Yeah.
And UC Davis has the ball on the goal line.
I'm Sac State nowadays.
Wow.
Yeah, I just got more friends who went there.
Chris says get the stop.
All about Sacramento.
Davis is genuinely better than Sac State this year, too.
The football team, you're saying?
Yeah, in my opinion.
I think
it would not surprise me. No,
1-0 in the conference. Sac State's 0-1 against Weber State.
Again, Davis is usually better than Sac State. It's not been until very, very recently that Sac State has built a program that really even
Miles Hastings.
There's smells. The UC Davis smell.
Oh, the cow poop?
Yeah, there's no smell at Sac State.
I think we got to go.
Why
to break.
we got to bring down Davis?
We're waiting. I don't. It's because I like him. That's why.
I just want to know.
They called for break 6 minutes.
No,
I did.
Well, you guys started broing down on UC.
You started
Davis.
listing alums.
There's an astronaut coming up.
That
next.
goalpost is just—it's
crazy
sliding.
Coming up next, we rank the NBA starting lineups. Well, someone else did, and let's just say I don't think you're gonna like where the Kings fall. Stiles and Watkins. And UC Davis, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
You've seen him on the roast of Tom Brady, and you've heard him host the #1 podcast in the world, Kill Tony. Now see Tony Hinchcliffe perform stand-up comedy live at the venue at Thunder Valley, Friday, October 11th. The man behind millions of views worldwide and countless sold-out shows brings his stand-up set to you, Tony Hinchcliffe. Critics call him a must-see. Don't miss this stand-up comedian, writer, podcast host, and professional wordsmith live in Sacramento. Tony Hinchcliffe. Get tickets at ThunderValleyResort.com.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the only store in the world to be named the top 100 shop for 40 years straight. Yes, the only golf shop in the world. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is your unsurpassed spot to find the hottest golf gear, best pricing, and elite expertise. Try any club on the shelf on the driving range for free and let our staff show you everything you need to look and play better. You love golf. The Hagen Oaks team loves golf too. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue, Business 80. Learn more at hagenoaks.com or 916-481-GOLF.
Do you have old baseball cards and sports memorabilia from the 50s and 60s collecting dust in your closet? They could be very valuable in any condition. Find out at the Sports Cards Roadshow. We'll be in the Sacramento area to evaluate your old and modern sports cards. Visit sportscardsroadshow.com today to schedule your appointment. Ask about your free on-site sports card evaluation. For large vintage and modern collections, we can come to you. Skip the garage sale. Sports Cards Roadshow is buying. Call 1-800-560-3272 today or visit sportscardsroadshow.com.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the only store in the world to be named the top 100 shop for 40 years straight. Yes, the only golf shop in the world. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is your unsurpassed spot to find the hottest golf gear, best pricing, and elite expertise. Try any club on the shelf on the driving range for free and let our staff show you everything you need to look and play better. You love golf. The Hagen Oaks team loves golf too. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue, Business 80. Learn more at hagenoaks.com or 916-481-GOLF.
Carmichael Dave here from my good friends at American Energy. Cool weather, if not cold weather, is in our future. You know that. It'll eventually get there, and American Energy wants to make sure your system is operating safely and properly. So now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection. That's regularly $119, but includes a full safety and duct inspection. And if your system's over 10 years old, it's free. The tune-up is on American Energy. Give them a call right now. They're offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, that's half off the price of a new unit. American Energy been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You can check them out at theaeway.com for an instant quote. That's theaeway.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Happy anniversary, Naturewood!
Since 1948, the Keys family vision lives on at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where you'll always find the very best choices, quality, value, and service.
Everything's on sale now at Naturewood.
Special store-wide savings on all sofas, bedrooms, dining rooms, accent tables, entertainment centers, and more. We invite you to meet our entire Naturewood family, now in our 5th generation.
Tell them Brooklyn, Nova, and Orion sent you.
Sacktown Sports. Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Bleacher Report, power ranking every NBA starting lineup after blockbuster Karl Anthony Towns trade. Chris, I'm just going to go through them. Okay?
Okay.
You want to start from number 1 or you want to start from number 30?
Definitely don't want to start from number 30. I'll tell you that right now.
All right, we'll start from number 1. I was gonna say let's start from number 30.
just take an hour.
You guys already. I already ticked you guys off with UC Davis, so I'm trying to work.
It's not about
way.
ticking us off.
It's
more just I want people to listen to the show.
I played at UC Davis. I like.
I'm talking about reading 30 starting lineups.
Okay, there you go. All right, number 1, Chris. Any guesses?
The New York Knicks. That would be my guess.
Oklahoma City Thunder at number 1. Number 2, starting lineup, Denver Nuggets, which I couldn't disagree with more. Number 3, the Boston Celtics. Number 4, we will stop when we get to the Kings, by the way. Number 4, the Philadelphia 76ers. Number 5, the New York Knicks. Number 6, the Dallas Mavericks. Number 7, the Phoenix Suns. Number 8, the Milwaukee Bucks. Number 9, the Cleveland Cavaliers. People are really high on the Cavs, Chris. Your boy Donovan Mitchell. Number 10, the Minnesota Timberwolves. So that is with Julius Randle now in. Karl Anthony Towns out. 11, the Memphis Grizzlies. 12, the Orlando Magic.
This is getting dangerous here.
13, the Los Angeles Lakers. 14, the Golden State Warriors. 15, the Indiana Pacers. 16, the Sacramento Kings.
Whoa!
They have the Kings Jimmy. At 16. They have the Pelicans are at 17, by the way, but they have the Warriors in front of the Kings. They have the Pacers in front of the Kings.
The Lakers.
That's pretty egregious to me.
Memphis is kind of crazy.
There's a majority of these are absolutely insane.
Which one? Yeah, let's just start with the ones that are just truly egregious to you, Chris.
Pretty much all of them after like 5, honestly. I mean, are pretty insane. Like, I mean, in this version of the Kings starting lineup, even they have Kevin Huerter, which is where I would guess, especially from a national perspective. Yeah, I'm sorry, Huerter. Where, you know, again, from a national perspective, I would actually like where would the Kings be if Keon Ellis was the one that they would have put here? More so not because we think Keon's worse, but just because from a star power or whatever, a name recognition, they probably have no idea who Keon Ellis is. So it's absolutely insane. I mean, honestly, I think the Pelicans should be just as upset too, because I think the Pelicans have one of the best starting lineups in the NBA as well, with DeJounte, CJ, BI, Trey Murphy, and Zion. Like, yeah, they don't have a traditional center, but we're just taking those 5 names at face value. I mean, what are we talking about? To me, like the Grizzlies is crazy because they have their starting lineup listed as Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Marcus Smart, Jaren Jackson, and Zach Edey. They have Marcus Smart starting at the 3 in that. There's no way that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I just don't see what necessarily the logic is in any of this. I mean, like you said, the Cavs are way higher than they should be. I think there was another one that just absolutely made no sense. The Magic being higher than the Kings is absolutely insane. To me, they're undoubtedly top 10. I would probably put them, probably like 6 or 7 if this is how they're going to do it. I honestly think it's insane that the Nuggets are number 2. I don't see how you have the Nuggets with Christian Braun as their starting 2. How does that not hurt them, at least to the point where you should have Boston in front of them?
Not trying to overthink things. I just don't know why Boston is not only, well, we're not just going to make Boston not 1. We're going to make them 3. That it kind of just reeks of contrarianness to me, and I don't really understand that. The Pacers, I actually think the Pacers, it's not that disrespectful from a starting lineup. I know I'm higher on Miles Turner than you are, but to me, I think the Pacers, they could be higher up as well. The Warriors, and we're going to talk about that projected lineup when we go around the NBA, but the Warriors, to me,
it's just crazy.
That's kind of nuts.
Like, we can even go 1 for 1, and it's just like, you know, hey, De'Aaron Fox, is De'Aaron Fox better than whatever? We'll do the Pacers. Is De'Aaron Fox better than Tyrese Halliburton? Whatever. We'll call it a wash. We'll call it even perfectly.
Yes.
Okay, so at the 2 is Kevin Huerter and Andrew Nembhard. I guess we can call it a wash too, just for easiness sake. But I think a lot of people, especially, would maybe say Herter or Keon, or if you throw Malik in there, if you want to just throw the best 5 names in there, like what they did with the Grizzlies, put Malik in there, and then we'll see where the Kings fall. So, how about Aaron Nesmith versus DeMar DeRozan? That is so far in DeMar's. It's not even funny. We'll do Pascal versus Sabonis because that's maybe a little bit more, and we'll call that even though I think Sabonis is a little bit better. Miles Turner, Keegan, maybe you give a slight, I don't know. I mean, I just think that it's kind of crazy. I think that the Kings just have a much better lineup than a lot of those teams, and the Pacers probably wasn't even the best example. Like, the Warriors are ahead of the Pacers. The Kings and the Pacers have a better starting lineup than the Warriors. If I just had to put a stamp on it, I would say I think the Kings should be a top 7 starting lineup in the NBA if you look at some of their plus minuses, and if we're going to look at what the best offensive lineups in the NBA are, I just have a tough time seeing the Kings definitely not outside the top 10. That's crazy.
Well, what's funny to me too, let's talk about the Bucks at 8. Damian Lillard, Gary Trent Jr., Chris Middleton, Giannis, and
two bad knees. Brooke Lopez is 37 years old.
Insane.
And Dame had a really bad season last year, and
they didn't work together.
There was a report too. I don't think we read it, but Damian Lillard said that him and Giannis haven't talked all summer.
Just weird.
Just absolutely.
Did you see the clip of Dame Lillard? He's dribbling back and forth during media day, and someone said, I know a man in pain.
Yeah,
when I
see that.
I see him. Look, I think the Suns, we don't need to argue the Suns. Fine. Tyus Jones, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Nurkic. That one, sure. Okay, the Mavericks, everybody's high on the Mavericks right now. Luka, Kyrie, Clay, PJ Washington, Derek Lively.
Sure.
Cool. The Knicks, we know what the Knicks did. Cool. The Sixers, fine. Cool. And then after that, it's just you're back at the top with the Celtics, the Nuggets, and the Thunder. But to me,
they have the Kings, maybe if we're being harsh, like the 5th best big 3 in the NBA, right? Like something like that. I mean, I don't see how you could, really say that Keegan Murray and Kevin Herter are bringing down the rest of the roster pretty much essentially 10 spots. I mean, that's just insane.
Yeah, I still am not really sure what to do looking at the Grizzlies. I'm really just not sure. We don't know what Zach Edey is going to be in the NBA. And I don't even really know what to do with Desmond Bane. Yeah. Is Desmond Bane a championship number 2? I have no clue.
I don't think so. I think he's a really solid role player for sure. Maybe a good number 3 scorer, but not as a number 2. And I feel like people are just forgetting that John Morant was hurt last year. It's not that he was suspended for the entire season. This is a guy who's had a lot of injuries or a lot of injury concerns throughout his career with his frame and just how he plays in general. And I believe it was his labrum as well that got hurt last year. I just feel like there's a lot of faith being put that the Grizzlies are just going to pick back up right where they left off a couple years ago. And I just think that the team is completely different and their situation is way different than what it was back then, especially in the West.
And we got to see what Zach Edey and Jaren Jackson Jr. look like together. That's a team that I think talent-wise is talented, but there's some glaring flaws there. Jaren Jackson is one of the most confusing players I've ever watched as far as his approach to being a 5'4" in the league. Ja Morant can't shoot. Desmond Bane can only shoot. Marcus Smart is Marcus Smart. So, I think the Magic, I don't even have a crazy problem with the Magic. I'm just more focused on the Western Conference teams. But, the Lakers and the Warriors, that's just
what are we talking about?
That's just insanity.
Rui Hachimura and D'Lo.
Yeah, that's nuts. And D'Lo
those guys are both bench players for the Kings, undoubtedly.
Yeah, there you go. And they couldn't even get one W against the Kings last season. Nope. So and they made no moves, so that makes no sense to me. Coming up next, we go around the NBA. We talk about that Warriors projected starting lineup and the issues. And Grayson Allen is on the muscle milk. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
Get a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
Hey, October's already heating up on the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. Enjoy family fun at Dave's Pumpkin Patch in West Sacramento all month long. Pick your perfect pumpkin, navigate the corn maze, jump on a massive jumping pillow, and create unforgettable memories for the kids. On October 20th, don't miss Renee Vaca at the Crest Theater for a night of laughs and entertainment. And mark your calendar for Sinners and Saints, the region's best Halloween party on October 26th at the venue at Thunder Valley, complete with a $5,000 costume contest. It's the most spooktacular event of the season. Looking ahead into November, join us for Legends of Motown at the venue at Thunder Valley November 23rd, bringing you the classic hits that defined a generation. And you're not going to want to miss the Jersey Boys Midtown Men Holiday Show December 8th, also at the venue at Thunder Valley. It's going to be a night filled with festive cheer and old school classics. And stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for all your live event updates and your chance to win tickets.
Meta Chevy Silverado Blowout is on with $12,750 off MSRP. Every new 2024 Silverado half-ton LT in stock after rebates. Or choose $12,000 off MSRP on every new 2024 Silverado half-ton RST in stock after rebates. Exclusively at Meta Chevy at metachevy.com. Sacramento's Silverado headquarters. Whatever Silverado you choose, you'll save thousands at Meta Chevy. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Most radio 2010 model year or newer. Ends 10/31/24.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers too. Consultation's free and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
The presidential general election is November 5th. All registered voters will receive their ballot in the mail. Check to make sure you're registered correctly at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 800-762-8019.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text 916-339-1140.
It is time to go around the NBA. I'm going to start here, Chris. Kemba Walker has officially begun his post-retirement career on the Hornets coaching staff as an assistant. Coach Walker is Charlotte's all-time leader in points, threes, free throws, and minutes played. Good for him. Good for him, going into the next stage in his career. That's really all I have on that one. Just thought it was a good note. Obviously you had to step back in Madison Square Garden. And Kemba Walker, I'm not really sure, Chris. I think he was a guy who we talk about players that got drafted and they were playing during a renaissance in the NBA, or as the NBA transitioned to, we're longer, we're shooting more threes. And Kemba was kind of caught in the middle of that, being a little bit undersized, but he still played it. He still made something out of his career. So good for Kemba.
Yeah, I saw Rajon Rondo was out there with the Milwaukee Bucks as well. Seems like, again, another sign we were talking about. Some Hotline Bling is now a throwback. Yeah. It's like now we're starting to see, it was already bad enough Jay Kidd's out here coaching and things like that. And Chauncey Billups is a head coach, but now we got to see, guys like Rondo and Kemba, where it's like, no, you should still be in the NBA. What are you talking about? You're not even 40, and they're coaches. So we're officially, you and I are officially cooked.
I'm just saying. That's how I feel. I've been cooked. You're welcome to the club, Chris. I'm just looking something up, and look, this is my guy. This is one of my guys. No disrespect. Kemba Walker, 34 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Isaiah Thomas, 35 years old.
Yeah, it's probably been about that time, but if anything, it's more of just Kemba as well. Like, his knees went out so early in his career. Like, I mean, he probably signed with the Celtics, if we remember, when he was 29, maybe 30 years old. And the fact that he's coaching at 34, it's just insane. And it really does just show, Derrick Rose just retired and things like that. And talk about Rondo. Sometimes these injuries, man, it just ends these guys' careers way sooner than what it should. And it feels like Kemba, I know he's a smaller guard, but he should still be should still be able to play. And it's just sad that, your knees pretty much take away your career like that.
Yeah, he was selected 9th overall at that time. They were the Charlotte Bobcats. That's after 3. He was kind of the last of a dying breed, and they're still coming out from time to time. But yeah, he was at UConn for 3 years. And this is before the transfer portal. Those were the good old days. Those were the good old days.
Peyton Siva there for 9 years at Louisville.
You could follow a guy, and you know what's funny, Chris? I do wonder, besides the Shedeur Sanders of the world and guys like that, even though they're making more money and they can make money off name, image, and likeness, I do wonder if jersey sales are what they were when it was the Terrell Pryors of the world, because who's going to buy jerseys for these guys bouncing around everywhere?
No idea. Yeah, no, it's a good point. You have no idea if your starting quarterback's going to leave you next year because he gets $1 million offer to go play at whatever at Ohio State. I'm sure you get a lot more than $1 million, but yeah, it's definitely a new era, and I don't know how anybody knows how to navigate it. I mean, I think that we're kind of in the testing ground of it right now, but yeah, I mean, it'd be really tough to buy any sort of person who's not a senior and you guarantee they're going to the draft. It makes no sense to buy, that 17-year-old at Alabama. I think I saw his NIL valuation tripled, but to that point, if you're a Bama fan, how do you know he's not going to be at, I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably not Georgia,
LSU,
but who knows? He could be anywhere by the time he's 19 and a junior. We have 3 different schools by then, as a matter of fact.
You can just go for the highest dollar amount each and every year. The Warriors, Chris, projected starting lineup this season: Steph Curry, Brandon Pajemski, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, and Draymond Green. Now, Chris, here's the issue that the Warriors are facing, as they are projected, according to ESPN, to finish 7th, which we both, I think, believe that might be a smidge high. Yeah. Here's the issue that the Warriors are facing. This is the conversation that they've been having. Basically, Jonathan Kuminga, at this point in time, is unable to play the 3, okay? Or they feel like he has to play the 4. When Jonathan Kuminga plays the 4, they cannot, because of spacing, things like that, they cannot play Trace Jackson Davis. So in a perfect world, they would like to play Trace Jackson Davis. That's why the Andrew Wiggins thing, everybody wanted to ship off Andrew Wiggins. Essentially, Jonathan Kuminga is not ready to play the 3. Okay, that's what I'm hearing. He cannot shoot, and he's just not a 3. So right now, if Jonathan Kuminga starts, Draymond in his age has to play the 5. If they want to get Trace Jackson Davis in there and Draymond plays the 4, then Jonathan Kuminga can't play. He's kind of locked in to, so it's like a guy who can only play left field. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or second base, whatever you call it. So that is the issue right now in Warrior land. You saw the 7th seed projection. How are you feeling about the Golden State Warriors this season if Jonathan Kuminga is locked in at the 4 and they got to run Draymond Green at the 5 at 34, 35 years old and still undersized?
I just think they don't have an identity. And that's the part that I haven't heard any of the Warrior Circle talk about. It's just, what exactly is this team going to be? Because Steph, I mean, if it's going to be a Steph-led team, then that makes sense. But I don't know if the pieces around him equal spacing or equal, hey, there's going to be so much attention. Like, you can't just put all your attention on Steph. To me, feels like Steph is going to get more attention than he's ever gotten in his career. And if I'm playing the Warriors, I know everybody always says it, but if Steph doesn't drop 25, 30, I'll gladly have Jonathan Kuminga and Andrew Wiggins and Brandon Pajemski beat me, because I don't think Draymond's going to be able to space the floor like that either. I think their spacing is going to be a nightmare. If you're going to rely on Andrew Wiggins to be shooting 37+% from 3, good luck. I mean, I'm glad to be proven wrong with this Warriors situation, but I just don't see it playing out well.
It's funny. I was reading an Anthony Slater article from a couple days ago, and he said he excelled as a downhill slasher offensively last season. Chris, that sounds like a one-trick pony.
Yeah,
that sounds like something that
attack the rim for sure.
that sounds like something that he is not going to be able to excel at 2 years in a row. I don't think so. So we'll see if he needs to take a leap. Podziemski needs to take a leap. I don't think they're doing very much.
10 threes a game out of Brandon Podziemski. Don't forget.
Oh, well,
remember?
Steve Kerr,
he's letting it fly.
Steve Kerr said he wants Wiggins taking 6 to 7.
Yeah.
They're basically turning into the Rockets, the James Harden Rockets. So we'll see how that turns out for him. Devin Booker is only 1,138 points away from becoming the Suns' all-time leading scorer.
Okay.
Booker stuck with Phoenix through the tough times from Evan Sittery, and he's now about to shatter the franchise record books at only 28 years old. Chris, what in the world are we doing with Devin Booker's career so far?
Well, he's still so young. I mean, he's been to an NBA Finals. He's got, I think, he definitely has at least one Olympic gold medal. I think he might have a FIBA gold medal too. I mean, he's building his career. I think it's a bit confusing as to where exactly he is. Is he a 1? Is he a 2? But I think he's learning a lot from KD. Maybe not some good lessons, but I think Book is an incredible scorer. I think we'll really get the answer to your question when guys like KD leave. At some point, there's going to be a team that is on the shoulders of Devin Booker, and I think that's really where we start the conversation about his legacy. But it is an interesting point. He has kind of skated by the legacy conversation. No one really talks about Devin Booker and what he means to the NBA.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's too early to do the comparisons. Is he Stephon Marbury, whoever, you know what I mean? But eventually we will have those combos. Still some Suns news here, Chris. Grayson Allen gained weight this offseason. Allen is up from his listed 195 pounds to 230. Sounds like me senior year of college, as he will be relied upon to be a top 3-and-D wing in the Suns rotation. Chris, in or out on muscle milk Grayson Allen?
I just don't believe it. Is there really any way to naturally gain 40 pounds over 4 months of just straight muscle? What are we told? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I just feel like that either maybe the starting number is fabricated or maybe the end number. I just feel like it's not really, the math ain't mathing to me to gain 35 pounds of muscle in 5 months. I mean, yeah, muscle milk or something's going on there. Maybe he's on whatever they accuse LeBron of.
Yeah.
Because that's absolutely crazy. Good luck. We'll see. I mean, Grayson Allen, he wasn't really a slim guy to start with, which is
I need to see what he
interesting.
looks like.
Yeah, this man must be looking like Desmond Bain nowadays or something.
Yeah.
And I
Longer
do hope,
arms,
honestly, I mean, I think I might have asked Keegan about it last media day, but I'm always fascinated with you gain muscle. Does that make shooting more difficult?
Yeah.
Because you would think, literally, hey, you throw a medicine ball for 10 minutes,
right,
and then you throw a basketball, it's going to feel like a tennis ball.
Yeah.
So, do you have to adjust your touch, or is that the definition of touch? Is touch just, hey, I know how it feels when it leaves my fingertips, and that's all I know. I don't really think about how much strength I put on it.
Interesting to do that right after Grayson Allen
just 46%.
Shot the lights out
something stupid
last season. And last but not least, speaking of threes, Bam Adebayo, or Bam Trey Adebayo, said Heat coach Eric Spoelstra will allow him to shoot threes this season. Bam shot 36% on threes during the Olympics for Team USA. I don't know what to do with this. They were listed, Chris, from Bleacher Report. I think they were 18 or something like that. Not very high. It looks like, they were 18 on the starting 5 list. I understand you got to expand your game. We'll see how that happens. You know how many times when I was in the Bay, and they're doing it again, you know how many times Kevon Looney was supposed to start shooting threes? Every season. So I think that the Heat might need it more than the Warriors needed it. But I don't. Good for Bam. I don't think this really changes anything with the Heat.
Yeah, it makes sense for him to start taking threes. I mean, he's always been a really decent mid-range shooter. So it makes sense to kind of have it be the next natural evolution. I mean, I believe it's going to happen. He's got some touch. They mentioned the Olympic numbers, and I will always point to DeMarcus Cousins as the example of, I never would have guessed that DeMarcus would have been even a decent three-point shooter with how big and and everything he is, but he had the touch, and he managed to be a really, really good three-point shooter. I don't see why Bam couldn't. I always point to when he showed up to the California Classic and they tried out the point Bam, and I was like, what is going on? Why is Bam Adebayo their point guard? And then 2 years later, you saw it a lot from the big club, and so I really think Bam Adebayo can expand his game a lot more.
Coming up next, top stories at the top of the hour. JT Snow is a no on Snell, and LeBron James says they have no expectations. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And Logan Ryan picks him up. Looks like they're playing man. LaPorte is over there as well. It's 5 out. It's empty on 4th down. Goff back. Not going to get out to his right. Being chased. Throws, and it is incomplete. The 49ers take over on 4th down again.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper. As the proud sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew, Alsco Uniforms offers certified hygienically clean lab coats, scrubs, bed linens, towels, floor mats, and an array of mops tailored for your healthcare facility. Our services include convenient delivery to your doorstep. Leading the way in healthcare laundry services in Northern California, discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's alsco.com.
Get ready to hit the gas on the best power tool deals of the year at Fasteners Tool Outlet. We're revving up the savings with our full throttle one-day DeWalt sale in Sacramento on October 12th only. We are slashing prices on a huge selection of DeWalt power tools like cordless drills, saws, combo kits, and more at costs you won't believe. Get better tools for better prices only at Fasteners Inc., Sacramento's top destination for DeWalt tools. Again, that's October 12th only on Power & Road. For more info, go to fastenersinc.net.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is your unsurpassed spot to find the hottest golf gear, best pricing, and elite expertise. Every club on the shelves can be tried for free on the driving range. 3 TrackMan units and a Hagen Oaks team of skilled fitting professionals provide the finest club fitting experience. Our personable Super Shop staff will show you the newest to help you look and play your best. You love golf. The Hagen Oaks team loves golf too. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80. Learn more at hagenoaks.com or 916-481-GOLF.
Advanced Infusion Center, where wellness meets vitality. Unlock your full potential with our customized Liquid Vita vitamin IV drips tailored to fit your unique lifestyle. Whether you're an athlete aiming for peak performance or travel often and looking to stay healthy, we have an IV just for you. At Advanced Infusion Center, we understand that wellness isn't just one size fits all. That's why our expert team is here to personalize your infusion experience. Ready to elevate your wellness journey? Call Advanced Infusion Center today or visit us at advancedinfusion.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
We're almost there. We're almost to Friday. I can taste it. It's only 91 degrees right now, but as we know, right after the show, Chris, is essentially when it gets cooking.
Stays cooking.
All right, we're about to cook right here with the top stories, the top of the hour. Coming up next after top stories at the top of the hour, by the way, Keegan Murray, our exclusive interview with Keegan
Murray.
And it's great stuff.
This is going to be a fantastic last hour of the show. I'm just excited. I'm excited I'm excited for the Survivor.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, by the way, 916, our Mr. or Mrs. or Miss Survivor. We will help you. Chris has no clue what this one is. I'm telling you right now, Chris, this is a tough one.
Okay.
This is and this is becoming, thank you to our Survivor. I guess we have to keep winning.
I don't know either. You didn't read it to me, I don't think so.
I read it on the air.
You did?
But you were doing a lot yesterday. It's okay.
Thank you.
But it's a tough one, guys. It's a tough one, and we need your help. Sac Chat and the text line. But first, top stories at the top of the day. Chris and I, not sure we had the same thought process on this. JT Snow, who maybe my eyes are a bit blurred, Chris, with the black and orange lens on, because my first Giants game I ever went to, JT Snow hit a home run. But JT Snow said this on the Giants flagship about Snell skipping his last start because they were facing a team that didn't have playoff aspirations. I had a problem with him on Sunday not taking the ball. You're not going to get injured. Go appreciate the fans and throw 3 to 4 innings. JT Snow goes on to say, I wouldn't sign him. Now, JT, that's a little much here, but JT Snow saying that he doesn't like how Blake Snell goes about his business, not pitching and showing his appreciation to the fans. And he doesn't want somebody like that in his locker room. That is some real get off my lawn type stuff right there, Chris.
Yeah, I don't understand how he can just say you're not going to get injured. Based off of what? Because that's what is the benefit of Blake Snell going out there? He gets a nice little hat tip to the fans as he walks out in the 4th inning. He barely knew him. He played pretty much for half a season for the Giants.
You can make the argument that's kind of part of it, though.
He's a professional athlete. He doesn't owe the fans I'm sorry, he doesn't owe the fans anything. Especially there wasn't successful. I mean, it was for him.
Well, but you like this. This is why I'm not even big on Snell because of stuff like this. It's not him not pitching, but it's the fact that he's been injured. You don't even trust your arm enough to throw a couple innings.
But what's the point?
I'm not saying
why should Blake Snell want to pitch that
He's probably pitched on that day. He probably threw a bullpen anyway. You know what I mean? I'm just saying it's not the fact that I don't want to pitch because that game doesn't matter. It's just if you are that weary about your arm, I'm not giving you a ton of money. That's how I feel about it.
It's just an unnecessary risk, in my opinion. It's just there's no win for Blake Snell in that game.
But if you're looking at it like that as a risk, then I don't know that I can trust you. Now, the Giants probably have to offer him.
He's got a big payday coming up, though, potentially. Yeah. He can't risk that.
He didn't get the payday last time because he was injured last season.
And that's what he's trying to avoid.
He's trying to, but to me, yeah, if your car has had issues, right, but it's been good, really good for about 3 to 4 months. Now I'm not gonna drive the car anymore because I'm trying to sell it. That to me is essentially what Blake Snell is doing, and that's fine. He can do that, and the sucker is born every week, right? There's a reason he ended up on the Giants. Nobody wanted to give him the big payday, so he can do that. And I don't really care about the whole appreciate the fans thing. I'm just saying personally, if that's how you feel about your arm, I'm not cashing you out. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I just think all pitchers are very, very self-conscious about their arm.
Know what I'm going to say.
Always want to make sure. I mean, he's trying to make sure he can pitch game 1 for next year.
Bumgarner would have went out there.
And look where Madison Bumgarner's at now. Really didn't do him any good. He probably should have maybe taken a couple days off.
But the memories, Chris.
That's fine. That's fine. You can have memory. You can be like Kemba Walker and have memories at 34 years old.
Sure. I'm with you on that's his prerogative. Me personally, the way Blake Snell kind of moves and grooves, I don't know that I would give him a bunch of money. Sure. And we just saw that a lot of teams weren't willing to give him a bunch of money. And we'll see what happens now. Obviously, he was ridiculous, the no-hitter and things like that. So we'll see. LeBron, Chris, you're going to love this one. I know you are. LeBron, this is from Dave McMenamin. Day 1 is in the books for the Lakers training camp. Their new coach wants to be process-oriented and build as they go. That sits just fine with LeBron James. Quote, I don't have any expectations, and that's unfair. Oh, no, not the F word. It is unfair to put any expectations on us right now.
I don't understand what that even means. How are you not? So you're just not supposed to expect anything from the Lakers this year? Like, not good, not bad? Like, what are you? So you're just supposed to go into the season and say, you know, we might be a 1 seed. We might make the play-in. We might get the number 1 pick. But whatever is going to happen is what's going to happen. Like, it's just not – it's just an insane statement. I mean, that is – LeBron knows that's not how it works. You have to have expectations, and the expectation should at the very minimum be you're going to be better than the guy that they just let go, or else they would have kept the guy that they let go of. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's an insane statement.
Yeah,
I love some LeBron.
I don't really understand what's going on there. All right, next, Chris. This is from Kendra Randall. She welcomes the Minnesota trade and discussed city life in New York. Okay, and
this is Julius Randle's wife.
Julius Randle's wife. Say that 5 times fast. And she says, as TMZ, I guess, misquoted her. She quote tweets TMZ and says, "Okay, it wasn't difficult." Laughing emoji. I just said living in a condo with 2 active boys was getting hard, and we were excited to have space. I love New York and will miss it, and everyone dearly. Just excited for my husband and for a new chapter. Chris, I'm just a little bit confused, and we talked about this throughout the show or before the show. Julius Randle and his career earnings a ridiculous amount. Why in the world are you in a condo? That's what I don't understand. You're making $30 million a year. Why are you in a condo?
That's New York life. I mean, there's millionaires who live in these 2-story penthouses and things like that. I mean, there's just not much space, especially if you want to live in the city where all the action happens. Like you can live out in the suburbs if you want.
That's not what I'm saying.
You can live out in the Hamptons, I guess, but I don't know the logistics of that. I would assume, Madison Square Garden's in the heart of New York City. I would guess that he just wants to be near everything, and near everything means you don't have land. And so I think there's a lot of people, especially the richest ones, that just live in really nice high rises.
Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of was a funny statement, as a lot of people that are in.
You're the Bay Area guy. You should know about, not having space, even though it's wealthy.
No, I know, but you got a condo or you got a condo not because of location. You got a condo because you cannot afford a house. So
or you're not going to be there.
The way
long,
you said it, we're just so cramped in. Like you had an option. You chose not to take.
Well, when you're an NBA player too, I'm not buying any house. Maybe I'll buy one for the off season, but I'm not buying a house where I'm playing because odds are I'm not going to be there in 2 years.
Yeah. Next, we have some sound from JJ Redick, and I guess a DJ with the Jovan Buha. The vibes are just immaculate right now, Chris. And they had a DJ at practice, and this is what JJ had to say.
The DJ's here. Yeah. Is this going to be an everyday thing when you guys are in the gym? I mean, where did the idea come from?
It came from LeBron. He requested that there be a DJ before and after practice. I said to him after for the group, I said, I like the vibe that we continue to be here. I don't know if that's an indefinite ask or if it's a temporary thing. I don't know. We're going to figure it out. We have to figure out who's footing the bill. We have to figure out who's footing the bill.
James Johnson.
I can't wait for the first 5-game losing streak. This thing is going to go so south.
That's major substitute teacher vibes. Yeah. As we were talking with Antonio Pierce, I don't know. LeBron suggested it. I just, I thought it was a good idea, you know, and we're going to do it. I don't know. He literally said, I don't know if this is going to be an all-season thing or not. You're the coach, buddy. You kind of make that call now.
Who's footing the bill?
If you say this is embarrassing, we're stopping it because we're a basketball team and not a part-time club, the music stops. And so the fact that JJ is even I don't know. If LeBron wants to keep doing it, we'll do it. But if he thinks that it's too much, then we'll stop. It's just I don't know. It just kind of doesn't.
We're focused on the
well.
Broncos.
Yeah.
We're focused on the Broncos.
Yeah, who's footing
All
the bill?
Our focus is on the Broncos.
That's actually what I also say when Chris and Nate and myself go out for drinks.
Yeah.
Who's footing the bill?
Or anytime we get DoorDash. You freak out.
Who's footing the bill? All right. Speaking of club life, VIP suites at the Clippers' new Intuit Dome will serve alcohol until 4 a.m. thanks to a new bill signed yesterday by Governor Gavin Newsom. Everywhere else in California, it's illegal past 2 a.m. How does that work?
That's not cool. I don't like that.
There's a lot of people who are not happy with
That
with our
sucks.
governor.
So what
because
are you doing in there until 4? Is there a club?
There's
like
literally a
Allegiant?
special exemption for this club. Yes, it is. And
so there is a club in the Intuit Dome.
Yes, there is a club in the Intuit Dome, and not to get too political, but a lot of people are saying that Steve Ballmer is a financial donor of one Mr. Gavin Newsom, and that maybe some special
Political
exemptions
show, Nate.
are being made
Dude,
for one Steve Ballmer.
Chris, yesterday this show got so political. It was crazy. We needed you to come back and get us back on track.
No thanks.
Well, I have a question.
Okay.
What about
Why not?
What about like Thunder Valley? Are they allowed to serve drinks past 2?
No, I don't believe so.
They're open 24
2
hours.
to 6 a.m. I think is the.
I think they are.
Or 2 to 8 or something.
I don't know.
It's bad that I know.
Hey,
that.
I wouldn't know, but
Yeah.
I'm 95% sure they are.
But they're in a different.
Yes,
obviously native land.
A casino on that land versus a club. That's two different things.
No, yeah, in the.
I don't know.
The
It sounds like
stadium.
we
Let's
don't
vote.
know. It sounds like we
Let's
really
vote.
don't know.
Let's vote right now. Next on the list, Chris, quickly here, Stephen A. Smith comparing himself to players. One, Dak Prescott. Stephen A. Smith on wanting a 5-year, $100 million contract from ESPN. Dak Prescott just signed a contract for $240 million. He's making $60 million a year and has won 2 playoff games in 8 years. I've been number 1 for 12 years. In our respective industries, I win. I'm fully aware of what I'm worth.
I think comparing yourself to the Dallas Cowboys quarterback is probably not apples to apples. If I had to guess, I wouldn't say Stephen A. is as essential to the success of it. Though, I mean, maybe with how they've built it out.
They're kind of a two-headed monster with him and McAfee now.
I think that's by choice. Like, I don't think it has to be that way. But, I mean, yeah, maybe in a sick, twisted way, we are at the point where Stephen A. Smith is as valuable to ESPN as literally the most valuable position in sports is to the most valuable franchise in America.
That's fair.
That's
I
insane.
do wish
Just
there was.
imagine, like, if you were like, I run this show, De'Aaron Fox runs the Kings, like, I should probably be making De'Aaron
LeBron
Fox
James.
money.
I'm the LeBron James of the station. Give me
Could you
LeBron
imagine
James
how
money.
insane it would be if somebody said that? You'd probably get laughed at and say, oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
I got you.
Yeah, okay.
Last but not least, Chris, I'm going to give you the floor because I know you have been kind of following this. Caitlin Clark wins Rookie of the Year.
Oh, yeah, she did.
1 vote away from unanimous.
Yeah.
66 votes out of 67. Crazy. Your thoughts on everything Caitlin Clark from this past season?
Yeah, we're going to find out who that one voter is for sure at some point here, and I'm sure it's going to be the biggest talking point of the week, so not looking forward to that. But, yeah, I mean, she was incredible. I mean, she broke just about every rookie record that's important to be broken at her position. There's really not much to say that hasn't already been said. Absolutely incredible. She's going to be the face of the league in a couple of years. If not, I mean, she's already the face of it, but she's going to be the MVP and everything around the league is just going to surround her even more moving forward. Absolutely incredible. And just hope that, we can start to actually talk about the basketball at some point.
There you go. All right. Coming up next, we have our Keegan Murray interview. And by the way, Ward says Thunder Valley.
He's on it.
It's nonstop. I thought so, but I wasn't going to say it because why would I know? Why would I know? I hope so.
You've never been up there at 4:30 in the morning and
I don't think you've ever been there.
And I'm pretty sure Red Hawk as well. Just so what I heard. I don't know. All right, Keegan Murray up next. Exclusive interview from Media Day. Stiles Watkins, Sac Sports.
I'm sort of LeBron James, of the station, trying to boost the rating.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
When shopping for a new car, what do you want? A great selection? A low monthly payment? More for your trade? At Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, you get it all.
Model year-end savings are going on now. It's savings you just can't say no to.
Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company.
How's it going, Keegan?
Right now, it's at Keegan. Allen gets me. I was not. And
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, as promised, you missed our Keegan Murray interview, and it was a good one. I think Chris had that ranked as possibly his favorite or one of his favorites. Great stuff from Keegan Murray. We got him to laugh a little bit talking about Malik Monk's golf game. Without further ado, here is Keegan Murray, exclusive from Media Day with Stiles and Watkins. Here it is.
On.
How's it going, Keegan?
Right now, what's up, Keegan? Allen, good to meet you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Keegan Murray joins us here on Sacktown Sports 1140. Keegan, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Yeah, of course, man.
So let's start here. Chris and I, because Chris was here last year and I was not. And Chris is saying it's not as loud this year. It's a little bit quieter than it was. And Chris said that last year, that is where the famous, because Keegan, I'm telling you, every time you do something, the beam sound thing. So that happened last year. What's going on? Are we going to have something memorable come out of this year's Media Day? It's too quiet in
I
here.
see a
Keegan.
purple wig over there, man.
Yeah,
I don't know if
what's
you've been
going
over
on,
there.
man?
I hadn't even been over that station, but hopefully that doesn't turn into some crazy meme or something again. So,
how has that been? I mean, Kings fans definitely have had some fun at your expense, just kind of, poking fun. And I think it's been great. But from your side of things, how do you kind of see it?
well, yeah, I mean, I have people around me that show me stuff all the time. Like, I'm not on like Twitter or nothing like that. So I get shown a lot of stuff. I mean, if they're having fun with it and they can have fun with it, I mean, I'm a laid back. I don't really care about much. So yeah, whatever the fan base loves, that's cool with me.
So we just finished talking to Malik Monk, and he was saying how he shaved off 10 strokes, 15 strokes off his game.
10 or 15. Oh, he said 15.
15. Is that? Did you?
First
help?
off, can you confirm that?
Yeah, because that's a lot.
That's a lot of strokes in a year. I know y'all are professional athletes, but
well, he's talking. I mean, I played with him last summer, and he was over 100 like most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So 10 strokes off of 100 is pretty.
Sure.
It is what it is. But I mean, he's gotten a lot better for sure.
How often do you play? Because I try to play with Chris, my co-host.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll respond to my text. Sometimes he won't. Keegan, how often do you play with Malik?
Malik, I played with him probably 8-10 times this summer.
Okay.
So I was out with him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's definitely got a lot better. Like, he was almost unplayable with early
the marshals on your tail
early last summer, but now he's actually he's pretty good. So
yeah, I'm curious too, just before we get into some King stuff, but being a part of Iowa basketball, obviously Caitlin kind of went to another level, if that's possible, this year, and she just kind of wrapped up her season. What is your guys' relationship like? I know you guys obviously kind of cross paths at Iowa, but what has it been like to kind of see her star grow, and how much are you in contact today?
Yeah, we've been good friends. I mean, we both came into Iowa as freshmen, so we kind of had that relationship going forward. And now she's dating one of my best friends,
that's right,
Connor McCaffrey. So I'm always in touch with Connor, and she's obviously doing her thing, and has been really good this year. And it's just been cool to see her grow as a freshman at Iowa to what she is now.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you see like the early stardom, but you never think it's going to get this big.
Right. I mean, I can't imagine you would ever think it would get as big as it's gotten now.
Yeah. So it's really cool.
Talking to Keegan Murray of your Sacramento Kings. Keegan, from the outside looking in, it seemed like you were asked to do a lot last season, right? From defending to expanding your game offensively. What did you feel like you accomplished last season as far as the things you were asked to grow in? What do you feel like, hey, I really do feel like going into this season, last season I grew in this way? Was it the defending? Was it the offensive repertoire? What do you think that was?
Yeah, the biggest thing going in last year was just being able to guard the best guy on the other team. Being able, because my rookie year I was really frustrated defensively because I just couldn't figure it out. But then last year something clicked, and I feel like just having that learning curve helped me a lot because this team really hasn't had that kind of guy. So that's been my biggest thing. And then just obviously offensively, just finding my spots and just growing.
Would you say you have a favorite spot on the floor to shoot from?
Not really. I just shoot. And whatever happens, happens.
All good. Yeah. And then also, I mean, you guys, we were talking with Mike earlier about you and DeMar maybe being interchangeable at the 4. Have you been talked to much this year? I know in college, a big part of your game was kind of playing in the post. Have they had any conversations with you about maybe bringing some of that back? Or is it just kind of a, when you're out there, if it feels right, you're going to go for it?
Yeah, a little bit. It's something this summer that I've kind of went back to work on because at Iowa, that's pretty much all I played out of was in the post. So I'm just trying to find that rhythm again this summer and being able to use it when I can this year. I think will just only help me grow and not only just rely on 3-point shots.
Talking to Keegan Murray. Keegan, last season we heard a lot about, when we talked about your defensive improvement, heard a lot about you working with De'Aaron Fox. We know De'Aaron Fox, he had a beautiful baby girl this season. Yeah. Were you able to work out with De'Aaron like you did last offseason? Is there anybody on the team that you worked with? Who did you work with this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, I've traveled a lot more this year. At one point I was up in Chicago with Herb Jones, and then I was with Fox. I went out to Houston because he was out there most of the summer. So I went out to Houston for a little bit, went with him. Then I've been working out with Malik probably the past month. So I've gotten out of Sacramento a lot more than I had before. So
you had the USA Select and things like that.
The USA thing. Yeah. I was in Iowa for a little bit. Chicago. Yeah. So I was out.
So you're going back and forth, right? When you have these one-on-ones, now obviously you're in the NBA. Everybody's got a large repertoire, but when you're facing De'Aaron Fox or even Malik Monk at this point, you kind of know. Do you know what they like to do? Like when you're watching them play and they get to one spot, and you think to yourself, "Oh, I know what he's about to do here. I could stop him, but the defender has no clue what he's going to do."
Yeah. I mean, they're both. I mean, there's a reason why they're both great offensive players because you can't really guess.
Yeah.
If you haven't played them as much as I have, but with those guys, I definitely know like what their tricks are and stuff like that. Fox knows a lot of my tricks, so yeah.
How much this season too are you just excited to play with DeMar? I don't know how much you've heard, but he's definitely somebody who seems to take a lot of young players under your wing. I guess you're kind of starting to be a vet here. You're in year 3. I don't know if you can really still. I know for this team you're probably a younger guy, but what have you kind of heard from guys around the league about what DeMar can bring?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I heard he's a good guy, just off the court, and obviously on the court he's gonna help us a lot late in games and just kind of getting the rhythm of the game back. So I feel like overall he's going to be a huge help for us. So I'm just excited to kind of pick his brain, just figure it out.
Sure.
Keegan Murray, great stuff. Before we get you out of here, there was a situation that happened before we came back with you and Mike Brown. People can check social media to see what happened there when you were taking your picture. So people will find that. But I wanted to ask Keegan, with that being said, it was a very funny moment. From the coaches that you've had from high school to Iowa to now, would you call your relationship with Coach Mike Brown one of the most unique relationships you've had with a coach? From the outside, it looks pretty unique to us.
Yeah, I'd probably say just because off the court, I feel like he's kind of took me under his wing, and it's all like non-basketball off the court, stuff like that. And then once we're on the court, he's probably my toughest critic. So it's been cool just to kind of have that relationship the last 2 years, going into the third year. So, and he's been great for the community of Sacramento for sure.
Keegan Murray, thank you so much, man. Thanks for taking the time. We will look forward to watching you this season. It's going to be a good season. Good luck to you, man. And we'll talk to you soon.
I appreciate y'all.
That was Keegan Murray of your Sacramento Kings. Great stuff from Keegan there, Chris.
Athletic
Dramatic move, that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Wow, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Shop fall savings at Big O Tires now through October 13th and buy 3, get 1 free on 4 select in-stock tires with installation and alignment purchase on all 4 tires. Offer good on most Saloon tires while supplies last. Disposal fees extra, not good with other offers. See participating Big O Tire dealer for details.
Maida Chevy saves you $12,000 off MSRP on every new half-ton Silverado RSD in stock after rebates. All of them. Silverado blowout on now at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details. Ends 10/31/24.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
The presidential general election is November 5th. All registered voters will receive their ballot in the mail. Check to make sure you're registered correctly at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 800-762-8019. Do you have old baseball cards and sports memorabilia from the 50s and 60s collecting dust in your closet? They could be very valuable in any condition. Find out at the Sports Cards Roadshow. We'll be in the Sacramento area to evaluate your old and modern sports cards. Visit sportscardsroadshow.com today to schedule your appointment. Ask about your free on-site sports card evaluation. For large vintage and modern collections, we can come to you. Skip the garage sale. Sports Cards Roadshow is buying. Call 1-800-560-3272 today or visit sportscardsroadshow.com.
Happy anniversary, Naturewood!
Since 1948, the Keys family vision lives on at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where you'll always find the very best choices, quality, value, and service.
Everything's on sale now at Naturewood.
Special store-wide savings on all sofas, bedrooms, dining rooms, accent tables, entertainment centers, and more. We invite you to meet our entire Naturewood family, now in our 5th generation.
Tell them Brooklyn.
A little bit of Kings news, Chris, before we get into our prop talk and picks for today for Thursday Night Football. From Jason Anderson, 27 minutes ago, the Kings have exercised a fourth-year team option on Keegan Murray, who will earn $11.1 million in 2025, 2026. Any surprises there, Chris? I don't think so.
No, that's standard protocol.
There you go. So there it is. Keegan Murray, 2025, 2026. And this is from Sean Cunningham. So basically there's a running joke, if you will, going on at Kings practices where Malik Monk is getting a hold of the practice schedules. Okay. And I don't know if typically the players get a hold of this, but Malik Monk is getting a hold of the practice schedules. And Sean Cunningham says 3 days into training camp and a third consecutive day of Malik Monk holding his Sacramento Kings coaching staff accountable for the practice schedule running long. Then he tags Malik Monk. So Malik Monk is getting a hold of the practice schedule and saying, hey, we're supposed to be out of here at a certain time. And you got to check out the video. It's on social media, Sean Cunningham on his Twitter. And it's basically Malik pointing to the schedule and in Malik Monk fashion, just saying, we're supposed to be done here. So very much, I mean, we talked about it with Keegan Murray, Chris, right there on the interview, a very unique player-coach situation out there or out here in Sacramento. And I think it's refreshing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just guys not taking themselves too seriously. Like, it's obvious, like, such a small thing to kind of bicker about. Like, it's obviously a joke. It's not time to take it too seriously. It's not time to say, like, oh, Malik and Mike Brown, like, they're clearly, at odds and at each other's throat. If anything, like, if you're able to joke about, or, maybe not even joking, maybe Malik is serious, but the fact that they're very open in this conversation, I think speaks to the level of relationship that they have. Like, clearly, you're not doing that to make things awkward. You're doing it because Mike's going to understand, like, yes, I am being serious, but also it lightens the mood a little bit.
Well, it's the same way. And you remember when you talked about how much you couldn't stand football practice, especially out there, because you're outside. And it's the same thing with baseball. You talk about casinos in the last segment. It would feel like you're in a casino because I have no clue how long I've been out here.
Yeah.
How long is practice supposed to go?
No idea.
Did you ever have, and maybe Whitey did, I think they were called either triangles or poles, where we would do game generated drills, right? And if you messed up, every mess up you'd have, they were called poles, where you would start at home plate. It was terrible. You would start at home plate. You would run to the right field pole, run along the warning track to the left field pole, and then run back to home plate.
Gotcha.
And based on how many mess ups you had, you'd have to run that many poles. They were awful, Chris.
Yeah,
they were terrible.
The worst
they were
ever.
Literally
especially
awful.
In baseball too, because it's like I can understand being in shape for Bartolo Colon out here.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
come on.
I
just need to run 90 feet.
Yeah, he running 6 poles. That's not
doing it. Just punishment. It's just punishment.
No, that's just not going to work. All right, let's get into prop talk. Let's do our let's first and foremost let's do our prop talk. Let's get that out the way. Okay, so prop talk, I'll start it out just to keep this thing moving. Hopefully nobody else is doing the same thing as me. I'm just going based on vibes and based on just dump off. Yeah, just based on vibes and dump offs, things like that. I'm going Bucky Irving over 56.5 rushing and receiving yards.
Ooh.
Bucky Irving. He was a yard short last game, but the game before it against Denver, he had 84. So, I'm thinking that Baker, a little bit of pressure on him, get some dump offs, and Bucky's going to be right there along with the running game. So I'm going Bucky Irving over 56.5 rushing yards. My confidence meter, very low, very low. All
Nate, go ahead, because I want to see what you're going to go with, and I might pivot.
Okay. So usually I'm always on here trying to avoid Thursday, especially offense. I like kickers. I like defense on Thursdays. However, if you're going to give me Mike Evans at 4.5 receptions, if that's how low the line's going to be, I have to take the over. Him and Godwin have been great this season.
Yep.
Baker's been great. It's too low for me to avoid. If it was 6.5, even 5.5, I'd be a little more weary.
Right.
I'm taking 5 receptions, 4.5 over. Mike Evans.
I know Mike's been dealing with an injury as well this week. I think it might be an ankle injury, so that could be the reason why that number is as low as it is. But even then, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, like you said, it's his knee. But like you said, Nate, I mean, Chris Godwin and Mike Evans have been absolutely cooking all year long. I feel like I need to go with a Falcons route because you guys just went with 2 Bucks. I'm looking at here. I usually, I think I might go the Nate route and not opt for offense or at least good offense.
I thought it was going to be an all or nothing one. That's usually my go-to.
Yes, you're.
I love those.
0.5.
It's more NBA.
I have Kyle Pitts 30.5 yards.
Oh,
Can I just do under?
Yeah,
just
nice.
Because if it's over, I'm happy because I unfortunately have him on one too many fantasy teams. And if he goes under, then it's predictable anyway. So I'm going Kyle Pitts under 30.5 receiving yards. There you go.
Boom.
All right,
Be
yeah,
better, Kyle. Come
yeah.
on,
It's
man.
and maybe this will
I'm so
kickstart
done
him. Who knows? But I'm done with him. I'm done with Bijan. I'm done because then Darnell Mooney is going to get all the. I'm done. I'm done with the Falcons. I'm literally done with them. Okay. Now let's make our picks. I think this could get a little bit spicy.
Well, you just said you're done with the Falcons, so.
Well, I'm done with specific Falcons.
Okay. Real quick, should we recap week 4?
I think so.
Just so we know.
I personally would say that we should definitely.
Yeah, if we have time.
Early on in the show, I did a little countdown. I had to recheck, forgot who won, who lost. It's been a while.
Yeah.
We didn't get to make our picks Monday because of media day. It just was a whirlwind, went by so fast. Anyways, Chris Watkins takes the week. So right now, week 1, it was a tie between Alan and Chris. I've won 2 weeks. Chris dethroned me 2 in a row. So now Chris has 2, I have 2, Alan has 1.
But that's not how we're doing the winnings, though. I thought we were. So we're doing it by week, winning weeks.
Yeah. Weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be a mess to try and do.
Individual wins.
Season.
Yeah, that would
my
be
own points.
Feel free.
I'm
pretty sure
too
you
late
would
now.
still be in last.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, I think definitely.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I
think
think Anyways, so it's a bloodbath right now between the midday show. Anyways, who you got tonight?
Well, no, I go last. Whoever lost the week goes last.
Okay, goalpost.
Sure. Okay, I will go with. I want to go with the Bucks. I know they're really, really injured. This also feels like prime NFC South, where they're all just gonna jumble each other up, and it's gonna be a mess. But I think the Bucks have been really impressive this year. They got a big win over the Eagles. I'll take the Bucks. I'll just ride the wave, and hopefully Baker can continue to look great.
Yeah. So Antoine Winfield's out. He's got a foot injury for Tampa Bay. Whitey was telling me Atlanta's
The line is also, I think, Tristan Wirfs hasn't practiced all week.
Yes, and it's Thursday too, just ugly. But I totally forgot they're in the same division until you mentioned that. I wasn't even thinking. With that said, Atlanta's favored by 2.5.
Are they really? Oh, they're at home.
I'm taking Atlanta. I like Atlanta. I think both these teams are going to be 3-2 come Friday morning.
I'm taking Atlanta. I don't really. Yeah, you have to. You have to if you are me. And last but not least, guys. Okay, quickly. I know we got to go quick here. This is from the 33K Survivor Pool, who we've been helping out. Update on my Survivor League. 8 left now. 3 dropped with Jets pick. Leaning towards Chiefs. Cannot go with Hawks, Chargers, Jets, or Niners. Other options considering Bears or Commanders. You know what? Hang on with us, 916. Yep. We're going to do it tomorrow because the teams that you mentioned, I think based on the rules, you should be able – you're not mentioning any of the teams playing tonight.
Also, don't pick a Thursday game. Just don't.
Yeah,
I think it's too dangerous. I think it's way too dangerous.
So Bears, Commanders, or Chiefs. Okay, we got you tomorrow, 916, for sure. Coming up next, we got Whitey Gleason of the Drive Guys. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
You've seen him on the roast of Tom Brady, and you've heard him host the #1 podcast in the world, Kill Tony. Now see Tony Hinchcliffe perform stand-up comedy live at the venue at Thunder Valley, Friday, October 11th. The man behind millions of views worldwide and countless sold-out shows brings his stand-up set to you, Tony Hinchcliffe. Critics call him a must-see. Don't miss this stand-up comedian, writer, podcast host, and professional wordsmith live in Sacramento. Tony Hinchcliffe. Get tickets at ThunderValleyResort.com.
Hey, this is Greg Pop-Up. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
What sets Ashton & Price apart from other injury law firms? I'll tell you. From beginning to end, all important legal decisions are made directly between our clients and their experienced local attorney. A gate agent flying the plane, the receptionist performing surgery, not a chance. There's simply no substitute for the unique power of the direct attorney-client relationship offered by Ashton & Price. And there's never a fee until we win, and between you and me, we win a lot.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
There's no better time than now to get yourself into a brand new Jeep because it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, offering the best deals in town and a selection other dealers are jealous of. Stop on by. They're just off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Joined by Whitey Gleason. Whitey, we started the show off talking about the 3-game series from the standpoint of, and congrats to your Padres, the 3-game series from the standpoint of just having a bunch of games and then it can be over in a blink of an eye. If you're the Orioles, who played really well this season, the Yankees just played better in the AL East. And then we also talked about the idea of Major League Baseball wanting all-day baseball versus maybe stacking it and giving us the opportunity to look at it like the NFL, where you could have your 4 screens and do it that way. What are your thoughts on the 3-game series and how they're because you see the empty seats, how they're approaching the playoffs?
Didn't see any in San Diego, buddy.
No, that's a later game though. That game's at night.
As far as the 3-game series, I know it seems silly to me to play 162 and then all right, best of 3. It's like you kind of cheapen. What does the 162 matter? But
that before it was one game. They were doing the one game thing.
I know. I saw you guys may have seen this too. Somebody with MLB was commenting on this, having the games one after the other rather than all at the same time. And they said the empirical evidence shows people like it that way. And they like to be able to watch all of the games. And I applaud them for that, as opposed to what the NFL did like last Monday.
I hate the Monday stack games. I'm not a fan of the Monday Night Football stacking.
If you're going to play on Sunday, there's no way around it. Obviously, you can't stagger the games. But I like the way baseball's doing it. And people now with their phones, people are watching at work. And, for people that have been fans longer, like myself, they used to play everything during the day. So there's a little bit of a nostalgic feel. So
I see.
I kind of like it.
Okay.
Which game's on now? I like it.
I had a minute yesterday, too, where I really was very sympathetic to A's fans as it was Brewers Mets.
Oh, yeah.
And it's who's on the bump? Sean Manaea.
Yes.
Against Frankie Montas.
Yes, I noticed that
and
too.
And who's at bat? Starling Marte. And I'm like, this is like the A's team from 4 years ago. Matt Olson.
And then Murphy catching.
I texted a couple of my friends who are A's fans, and I'm like, this has to be like the worst thing ever. And they're like, this is A's baseball, brother. Like,
the same thing.
From McGuire to, this is just what they do. Marcus Semien, it just, the list goes on of you turn on the postseason and you're like, not only are there a bunch of A's here, but there's a bunch of A's who are pretty much in their primes being the best players or very key players for their teams. And it's just, I just sympathize with him. I'm like, I can't imagine how frustrating this is. And again, that feels like it's kind of the least reported part of this entire move is just, yeah, these guys just shipped off like a playoff caliber team 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, it's like that old Billy Joel song, we traded Mark McGuire.
Hey.
Yeah, they traded on. That's what they do, Alan.
That's what they do. And by the way, it's not just I did see Donnie Barrels over there on the Padres, Donovan Solano.
That's right.
Even a couple former Giants players hanging around as well. The Devonte Adams stuff, Whitey, we talked about there was a back and forth with Q Myers, who we've had on this show.
You guys didn't talk about the 49er thing, did you? Because that's not a thing.
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
Just their general interest?
Well, yeah, every so often you'll see somebody say, hey, why not trade Ayuk for
Mike Silver wrote about it.
Yeah.
It's not. What did he say? I hope he said it's not a thing.
I don't know what to tell you, Whitey.
Okay, well, what do you think?
I mean, I would say that the timelines just don't make sense to me.
Okay.
So I don't know why I guess I kind of know why the Raiders would do it, but I don't really know why the Niners.
Right. And they've already given him a $23 million, signing bonus, so you'd be like, he would have that and you'd get nothing for him. And the way Ayuk's contract is set up, it doesn't really affect your cap till 2027.
Right.
So you'd have to rework all of that. And then there'd be a cap hit of like 18 million.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense unless the 49ers looked at Ayuk right now and said, you're the worst. And I don't see why they would do that. I know fans are frustrated, but come on.
Whitey, he's wearing the wrong colored shorts.
I know. That's it.
Come on.
Get me Devonte Adams.
Please.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Devonte Adams, what's the asking price? And I heard you talk about this.
He's
like a second rounder.
And they won an asset as well.
Yeah.
It's
good luck.
And the Raiders, I remember doing the show during the off season and before that, and it was Raiders don't want to move off. You don't want to move off. Don't want to move off them. And then you end up having to sell low. So just doesn't make very much sense. Also didn't make very much sense, Whitey. Bleacher Report, they ranked they ranked all the starting lineups.
I saw that too. I heard you talking about that on the crossover. Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh.
And
so I looked it up and you're right. It's horrible.
Terrible. We were trying to figure out what the most egregious team or who the egregious team was in front of them. Lakers, Warriors. I mean, they had the Pacers, they had the Magic. It just none of it made any sense.
It's almost like we put all the starting lineups in a hat and we randomly drew them out. Here's the order they came out in.
Yeah.
Pretty much what it was.
Yeah.
And to not have the Celtics as number 1. I think the Nuggets were number 2. It was just a terrible list. I mean, I just feel like, the Kings are definitely a top 10 starting line, at least just starting lineup, and I think their depth is also there too.
And they also had Herter in the starting lineup.
They did.
I don't even know if that's right now. It doesn't look like it's.
I also didn't mention it.
Kevin Herter.
Yes, please. Herter. They also had Al Horford in the Celtics lineup. I didn't mention it, but Al Horford retired. So, and that article was written September 30th. So it's not as if it's a super outdated article.
That's pretty bad.
It was not great. I didn't say anything about it.
Did PBev add? I know he said Herterer, but that sounded like Herterer.
Yes. No. Multiple ERs.
Kevin Herterer was.
The sack is lit.
Yeah. Yes, it definitely is. I'm looking here, Whitey. It looks like because the other series ended early. I mean, just getting back to you have NFL Thursday night. You have Mets at Brewers. I mean, the Mets are fine.
That's a take-all game.
Right. It's a win and take all.
Yeah.
That up against, I think for Thursday night standards, Bucks, unfortunately for baseball, Bucks, Falcons is pretty good, right? You're not going up against Jags, I don't know, Jags, Titans or something like that. I'm just curious how Major League Baseball looks at this stuff. Are they trying to cut in to anybody or they're just out here just trying to survive?
Well, they're just with the schedule. They've got a lot of games they got to play in a short time. So some of this is just like, oh, well, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah. So I will. Will they let us
Sunday too, right? Because I think the next round starts Saturday.
Right. And hey, if WNBA they went up against the NFL Sunday, so maybe they just figure it is what it is, and the people that want to watch will watch, and we're not really. Maybe we'll run into somebody based on some bad games, or the Raiders or whoever have a bad game, and somebody turns it off, which probably won't happen. But there were some bad games last week. A couple of the other names for Devonte Adams, and Chris and I basically basically eliminated some names, but you have the Jets, you have the Chiefs, which can't see the Raiders going. The Raiders have made some bonehead moves, but that would be pretty darn boneheaded. But you have the Saints, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Bills, the Cowboys, and then Rappaport did put the Niners on there as well. Jordan Schultz came out and said that the Cowboys are not involved, or based on his sources, are not involved. I think Chris and I landed on, obviously, the Jets. I'm just not going to spend time on the Chiefs. I think it's obvious. But again, in the division, Jets, Saints, Bills kind of make the most sense.
Yeah, not to belabor this, but Rappaport's report on the 49ers, and I was just looking here, I thought I maybe had run it off because it was so weak. It was like, and perhaps the 49ers are a team that may have called them or that he might want to play for. It's like, that's nothing.
Yeah.
So he might want to play for them, maybe. Or maybe they called, so I'm going to put him on the list, maybe, as a possible.
Well, and it's a good name. You know, obviously, we know the Niners brand. They're a good name to always throw out to keep the content going. But it also depends on how much leverage that they want to give, or that the Raiders want to give to Devonte Adams. I mean, do they want to play ball with them? I saw what your boy Coach from Last
JB?
Chance U. Yeah, he said
I saw that
I'd send his bleep to Carolina. You know what I mean? Which I don't know why I mean, I guess Carolina, it's not a terrible idea, but
Carolina's not going to. No team is going to take a guy that doesn't want to be there either. That's we'll show him. Teams gonna be, well, he doesn't want to be here, so we're not going to trade you a draft pick for a problem.
Yeah,
I don't understand the Steelers and all this either. I didn't get them. I didn't get the Ayuk interest from them, and I don't get this either. Like, I don't see what they're trying to do. I mean, I guess they're trying to make it. I guess you're trying, or they don't, and maybe that's what it is too. Is that they're trying to make it as easy as possible for them. But I just don't like. I don't think their passing attack is really a receiver away. I don't think receivers are necessarily the problem with that team. It's really strange to me what they're doing in Pittsburgh.
When you guys think if you're the Raiders, and I understand what you're saying about the Chiefs, I said the same thing. But put that aside for a minute. Chiefs and Jets right now are probably going to be the most
active,
motivated to make that move. So I'm going to let them just outbid each other. And then, like you were talking about the Cowboys, maybe somebody else enters the fray. But the Raiders are in no hurry to get this done, especially with him being hurt. So just slow played a little bit.
And I think the Jets are right. The Jets are probably in a hurry.
I would think
they're
so.
2-2 right now.
After that,
London, Minnesota. They play Minnesota and London this weekend. If they go 2-3. It's not what they brought Aaron Rodgers there for. And Robert Saleh, we already know, like, he's on the hot seat to an extent. I kind of feel like that's the team that feels like, okay, let's just get this done to do something, because we got to go all chips in here at this point, right?
Did you hear that? I think he just predicted a Viking victory over the Jets.
Yeah.
I would.
It's in London, though. Things get squirrely.
Yeah, I think that this might be, and we're going to do our picks tomorrow, but this might be the game where it just, things like Chris said, things just get weird. And the Jets have not been good. Darnold and the Vikings have been rolling. I mean, at some point they're gonna stumble. Not to say that they can't get back on the horse, but yeah, that one scares me.
It's a good time for the Vikings to do it because no one will be watching, myself included. I've tried to get up for those London games. It's not a thing.
Did you hear what I had to do yesterday because I came in last in the picks last week, even though we tied? So my punishment was we had Kerry Walsh Jennings on, the volleyball superstar.
Yeah.
So they said, all right, your third question you got to ask her in an accent, whatever accent you want.
Oh my goodness.
So we had been talking about the London Olympics. So I said, those London Olympics, were those your favorite because you were pregnant? And she goes, oh, that was good.
Wow.
What a guest. What a very, very nice guest.
She called back afterwards, and Drapes had a story about meeting her too that she enjoyed. She called back afterwards to tell Jay, I really enjoyed that. You guys are really good. Yeah.
Wow. What a compliment from an Olympian. Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Well, she got inducted into the San Jose State.
She's going to be San Jose Sports Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Wow. That's
in
incredible.
November.
Well, yeah, we could start doing that too, but next week, I came in last.
Welcome to the club. It's tough this year. Well, you're not doing the spread though, are you?
No, we're just doing straight up. Yeah. Spreads are impossible. Impossible.
It's rough.
Yeah. Maybe I'd have more of a chance.
Money lines all the way.
There you go. All right. Drive Guys up next. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, and Jay Johnson. Thank you to all the callers, texters, sat chatters. Congrats to our winner of the Mike Epps tickets. You'll have one more chance to win tomorrow, and we will talk to you again tomorrow. Until then, secure the bag, light the beam.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sac